excited and I'm looking forward to this fight, and I'm gonna show the whole world who I am.
Both David and I are super high-paced, exciting fighters with unique styles, and when we get together to fight inside the octagon, it's gonna be fireworks.
I know Tyron doesn't think I deserve this rematch, but you know what? We tied, we're gonna run it back, and I'm gonna go out there and do my thing and take that belt from him.
My mentality is just destruction. I want to go out there, I want to dominate. I don't want to lose any rounds in this fight. And when I go out there, I will finish Stephen Thompson.
For the first time in 2017, the MMA leader has returned home to the 702. We are live in Las Vegas, Nevada, where tonight we will run back a UFC Welterweight Championship Classic. Live inside the UFC's New Vegas home, the T-Mobile Arena, this is UFC 209, Woodley versus Thompson 2. Closed captioning is brought to you by Marvel's Iron Fist. The Final Defender arrives March 17th on Netflix. Tonight's SAP is brought to you by UFCEspanol.com. Tonight's broadcast is available in 100% Spanish. As always, the pleasure is ours. I'm John Anik. Thank you for joining us for UFC 209. So Madison Square Garden was the site back in November. Tyron Woodley entered as the UFC welterweight champion. He left that way too, but he didn't leave satisfied after the majority draw with Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. So tonight, the focus on both sides is for finality in the form of a finish to leave no doubt as to who is the best welterweight on the planet. And now welcoming the legend Joe Rogan, former UFC bantamweight champion Dominic Cruz. We run it back tonight. We'll see how the rematch goes. Woodley and Thompson too.
Yeah, we run it back tonight, and it's a very intriguing fight because the first fight was so close. The welterweight champion, Tyron Woodley, is a powerhouse. He's easily the strongest man in the division. Lightning fast, brutal knockout power, outstanding wrestling, and he has learned how to conserve his energy and show excellent improvement in his stamina.
And then you have Wonder Boy. This man, Stephen Thompson, has been mixing it up so much on people. You can't decide where he's going to go. You don't know if he's throwing a kick. You don't know if he's throwing a punch. You don't know if he's spinning. You don't know if he's going to throw an elbow. He mixes it up so much. He's got great takedown defense. It's improved time after time again, and he's very unorthodox, extremely athletic, with undeniable speed. He's very hard to deal with, and this is going to be an amazing fight because both these two are very well contested.
Well, speaking of amazing fights, the co-main event tonight was to be one of the more anticipated fights of the year, Joe. Interim UFC Lightweight Championship, Khabib Nurmagomedov and Tony Ferguson. Nurmagomedov, weight management issues, not medically cleared. The fight is off.
To put it mildly, I mean, it is a huge bummer. It was an amazing fight, one of the most important fights really in the history of the lightweight division. Khabib Nurmagomedov is one of the very few guys that has remained undefeated, dominating everyone in his path, and he had, in my opinion, the toughest test in front of him in Tony Ferguson, but was unable to make weight. I think it is the biggest problem in MMA today, the weight cutting, and I would love to see us move towards a time where fighters fight at their natural weight.
I think it's a choice if you decide to make weight or not. And if you can't make the weight, then you need to either go up a weight class or you need to learn how to use your weight management better. Because cutting weight means if I'm better at it than you, then I'm more professional than you are. You need to be able to make the weight. You need to come into your weight on time. You can't come in 20 pounds heavy 5 days out of a fight. That's not professional. That is not weight cut's fault. That's you not being a professional early. Now, we don't know if that's what happened with Khabib Nurmagomedov. Right. We don't know how heavy he came in. He could have been hurt. But the point is, this is a huge problem because we needed this fight to see who could fight for the belt afterwards. And now we're just going to see somebody go in there, but they're both very good.
All right, well, that fight, it was booked in 2015, 2016, 2017. As yet, it hasn't happened. But it equates to a massive opportunity for two other lightweights, Dom. Co-main event now will be Lando Venata taking on Sweden's David Tamer.
Yeah, Lando Venata, I mean, his base was wrestling. That's how he started, and he moves like a wrestler. He switches his footing when he punches. He switches his footing when he kicks. He's very dynamic with his speed, and you see these punches and these kicks that he lands are highlight reel knockouts. He is extremely good.
And he has had some excellent fights, but I think that David Tamer is going to be one of the toughest fights he's had inside the octagon. This guy is a wild striker. He's a knockout artist. He has outstanding control of distance and brutal knockout power, as you see here.
All right, Tamer and Venata coming up in the co-main event. Tamer trying to make it 3 consecutive knockouts to begin his UFC career. You saw the way these guys got heated a little bit. Venata has a knack for getting under the skin of his opponents and perhaps struck the right chord with David Tamer here on Friday. All right, several great matchups coming up. Good to have you with us here on pay-per-view.
All right, here's a quick look at the rest of the card. The Michigan native and former Ultimate Fighter finalist Amanda Cooper set to make her 3rd UFC appearance tonight. She will do so against the undefeated newcomer and Team Alpha Male rep Cynthia Calvillo, who brings with her plenty of hype into this UFC debut. And speaking of hype, there was a lot of it surrounding the middleweight debut of former UFC light heavyweight champ Rashad Evans. It comes tonight here in Las Vegas against the hardened Australian Olympian Daniel Kelly. Far from his native Melbourne, this is far and away Kelly's biggest opportunity to date. All right, coming up next, one of the most versatile heavyweight finishers of all time. Alistair Overeem got the best of Mark Hunt when they met nearly 9 years ago. Tonight, in what'll be his 58th professional fight, he is out to prove that he, and not Hunt, still belongs among the division's elite. As for the wildly popular New Zealand-born Hunt, the power is still very much there for the king of the walk-off KO. His last 3 wins have all been by knockout, but none would be bigger than the one he can secure tonight in this rematch with the Ring. And now let's get to the rules of the octagon. 3 judges score the bout. The bout duration is 3 5-minute rounds. For all championship fights and UFC main events, we go 5 5-minute rounds. A 10-point must-scoring system is in effect. Round winner gets 10 points, his or her opponent 9 or fewer, and scoring is based on effective striking and grappling, followed by aggression, and then octagon control in that order.
Also, as many of you may know by now, the Association of Boxing Commissions has made changes to the unified rules of MMA for 2017, but that said, universally they haven't been put in place. So the Nevada State Athletic Commission has not adopted the new rules. They therefore are not in play tonight. The fighters have been made aware. Oh, well, as the biggest New Zealand-born star on the roster gets ready to fight here in a matter of moments, we're happy to let you know that UFC is returning to Auckland for a second time. FS1 UFC Fight Night, Vector Arena, Saturday, June 10th in the States, Sunday, June 11th for the locals. Keep it locked to UFC.com as the fight announcements come down. You can get pre-sale access to tickets by registering your interest now. UFC.co.nz/Auckland. All right, as we get ready for our first fight on pay-per-view, the updated UFC heavyweight rankings, you see Alistair Overeem there still entrenched in the top 3. Fought Stipe Miocic for the title last fall, and Mark Hunt still headhunting, still very much in the mix as well. He comes in at number 8 in the world, unbeaten, spanning his last 3. This is a rematch. First meeting went to the Ream back in 2008. We'll see if Hunt can get him back tonight here in Las Vegas. So 2 of the top heavyweight strikers in MMA history meet for a second time. Australia's Mark Hunt in search of redemption in this rematch with Dutch star Alistair Overeem. It is another high-profile rematch in Las Vegas tonight.
as heavyweight superstars Alistair Overeem and Mark Hunt collide for the second time in a fight that is pivotal for both men as they hope to punch their ticket back to contention.
This is an opportunity for a rematch from the last fight we had and redemption.
I remember Mark Hunt was probably the strongest opponent I ever faced. I expect him to be just as strong, just a little bit more clever and sharp.
Like Overeem, Hunt is a former K1 World Grand Prix winner, and the Super Samoan has shown off his stand-up prowess by scoring his last 5 wins by knockout over the likes of Frank Mir, Bigfoot Silva, and Roy Nelson. And that run has led to this, one of the most highly anticipated heavyweight striking battles in years.
I didn't like Alistair Overeem, and this gives me an opportunity to beat him up.
Owner of a submission win over Hunt back in 2008, Overeem has been on a tear in the UFC of late. He reeled together a streak of 4 straight wins over Stefan Struve, Roy Nelson, Junior Dos Santos, and Andre Arlovski, before coming close to dethroning champion Stipe Miocic in September. And although he lost that title bout, the Reem can get right back on track by taking out Hunt here tonight.
The heavyweight division is not that big, so the title is always close, but you got to keep winning them. I hope tonight, with this victory, that it gets me one step closer to the championship.
So here is the decorated striker, one-time UFC interim heavyweight title challenger, number 8 in the world, Mark Hunt. Joe making his 14th UFC start tonight.
And it's very rare in MMA that you have 2 K1 Grand Prix champions competing. And I mean, 2 legends in the world of kickboxing for sure. Mark Hunt is absolutely one of the best strikers that's ever fought in MMA, and always a danger for a one-punch knockout. And I think you could say the same thing for Alistair Overeem. Mark Hunt tends to throw more leg kicks than high kicks, but that's really the only thing that separates the two, other than the durability factor. Right. I think Mark Hunt has an incredible chin, maybe one of the best chins in the history of the division. Alistair has been knocked out many more times, and it's like at this stage of his career, he's a little bit more susceptible to damage, and Mark Hunt is always capable of delivering damage. But what you're dealing with is 2 really high-level, really crafty strikers.
I think the range is going to be the big deciding factor. Obviously, it always is in striking battles, but especially with 2 K1 Grand Prix strikers. These guys know that distance means everything. You got a little bit shorter Mark Hunt, but he has a way of understanding how to wait for the kick, not just eat it, but eat it and then fire power back. And when he does that, it takes away the kicks of his opponents because they're scared to eat that power anytime they kick. So that's what Mark Hunt is going to have to do against a long Alistair Overeem, who loves those T-kicks up the middle, who loves those high kicks and mixing it up. Mark Hunt has the style to do so. And
we've seen Alistair later in his career, he's much more movement-oriented now. You see, like, especially the Stipe Miocic fight, he moved around a lot. Junior Dos Santos moves around a lot now, much lighter on his feet, and you got to attribute a lot of that to training at Jackson's.
So, Joe, Alistair Overeem was down after the fight against Stipe Miocic last September, wanted to take some time off and sort of reset mentally, traveled with his family, and got back to a place of focus and dedication, and feels like he's very sharp coming in here tonight.
Well, definitely a good idea to take some time after a brutal knockout like that. And, you know, Alistair had his moments in that fight.
Yeah.
I mean, he hurt Stipe. He had Stipe in all sorts of trouble, but Stipe rebounded and wound up putting Alistair away. So Alistair had to regroup. But I believe he takes comfort in the fact that he took the number 1 heavyweight in the world and he put him in some real bad places. He had him hurt. And Alistair is still, again, one of the best strikers in the division. Really proved that in the previous fight with Andre Arlovski and with Junior Dos Santos. The Junior Dos Santos fight in particular, he was absolutely flawless in that encounter.
Overeem told me that the knockout made him have to go back to the drawing board and change some things. He says if you lose, you got to change something in the camp to reset. You got to take a minute and do some different things, have some fun, relax a little bit. He said he did that. He said he also has his 3rd baby on the way. He bought a new house. He traveled to Thailand. These are things that are going on in his life that he said kind of reset him, give him some invigoration to go back in here and compete again after a loss. He also says that he dedicates his fight to his grandma. He says he calls her Mary Overeem. she's going to be 102 on June 30th. And he says, she's been around since 1915. I need to go ahead and give this fight to her. And I said, I have to agree with you on that.
Wow.
58th mixed martial arts fight for Alistair Overeem, arguably the most versatile finisher amongst heavyweights in MMA history. 17 submissions, 20 knockouts, and a big one yet again in front of the ring tonight as we show you the tail of the tape. Alistair Overeem, 36. Mark Hunt will be 43 later this month. Massive discrepancy in height, even more pronounced in reach, where the Reem will have an 8-inch advantage. All right, now for the official introductions, here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas for UFC 209, Woodley versus Thompson 2. And now, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the right blue corner, a striker holding a professional record, 12 wins, 10 losses, 1 draw, 1 no contest. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing in at 265 pounds. Fighting out of Sydney, Australia, presenting the number 8 ranked heavyweight contender in the world, Mark Super Samoan Hunt! And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding professional record, 41 wins, 15 losses, 1 no contest. He stands 6 feet 4 inches tall, weighing in at 256 pounds. Fighting out of Amsterdam, the Netherlands, presenting the former Strikeforce heavyweight champion and the number 3 ranked heavyweight contender in the world, Alistair the Reem Overeem. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Mark Goddard.
The veteran referee, Mark Goddard, our referee. The beautiful Brittany Palmer with us tonight. Stay ready on Twitter tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We will have voting polls throughout the main card at UFC if you are not following already.
Guys, here we go. Ready? Ready? Come on, let's do it.
All right, here we go. A rematch, nearly a decade in the making. Mark Hunt is in blue, Alistair Overeem in black.
Woo! Right away, Mark Hunt with a heavy leg kick. And those are some tree trunks keeping that guy up. Checked. Went low with that one. Again.
And see, that one, Reem was reading, and that's why you saw the right hand off the kick. That's got to be done. Anytime somebody kicks, you got to fire something.
Oh, big cut on the shin of Mark Hunt. Boy, that is nasty. Look at it, pouring blood.
That was from the checked kick.
Wow. That is a gash. Wow. That's crazy.
He's probably got tons of scar tissue on his shins, Joe, from all the years of kickboxing K1.
But the amount of blood that's coming out of there is incredible. I don't think he's aware of it yet.
Yeah, just fired off that right leg.
Reem's best weapon has been his left hand recently. That, and he mixes it with his teep kicks up the middle. But that left hand comes fast, and it comes heavy, and it's very well hidden. Watch Reem for that left overhand.
Overeem very economical with his strikes. His strike accuracy near 74%, #1 in UFC history coming in.
Reem is really good at switching stances too. He does it really fluidly.
And that's why his left hand gets hidden, because he starts conventional, switches to southpaw, and then fires an overhand left, which you don't think is coming.
That oblique kick to the thighs really been devastating.
Just over 3 minutes here to go, round 1. Looked like maybe a clash of heads there on the inside.
And again, Alistair is going to that oblique kick. You see that so much from Mike Winkeljohn trained fighters. And you really didn't see it from Alistair before he started training there. And now it's a staple. Holly Holm uses it a lot. John Jones uses it a lot. Woo! Big power to the body. He left a big swath of paint.
Some of the most durable heavyweights in this division have succumbed to the power of Mark Hunt. Roy Nelson had eaten over 550 significant strikes in the UFC, hadn't been knocked out until Mark Hunt got him several years ago in Japan. Hunt's entire career has been against world-class competition. Hunt closing the distance, got clipped by the Overeem right hand.
Alistair's doing a very good job of utilizing his reach, mixing things up, staying on the outside.
Under 2 minutes here to go, round one.
Best way for Hunt to be able to make up this reach is kicks. He has to kick in order to get inside of Overeem, who's longer.
It's a little bit off balance when you're throwing that kick.
Yeah. Comes the left.
Good kick to the body there by Overeem.
He was looking for that left knee from southpaw on the left hand.
Mark Hunt looking for that big right hand.
Yep. Overeem attacking that lead leg of Mark Hunt.
Hunt's getting too close with that right hand. Even missing, that means Hunt is getting the range on his punches. He's within inches of Overeem. So Overeem needs to work on his defense, figure out a way to keep him outside, because Hunt's getting closer and closer with that right hand.
Pretty good footwork here from Alistair Overeem.
Oh, power kick to the arms.
Overeem is sharp here early. Nice combination by Overeem, punctuated with another kick to that lead leg of Hunt. Under 30 seconds now to go in the round. Another stance switch for the Reem.
And I like how Overeem's every now and then just grabbing a hold of Mark Hunt and clinching with him. Anytime Hunt gets in the pocket, instead of swinging with him, he clinches him. That stops Mark Hunt from being able to use his power in the pocket like he needs to with his hands.
And this is what we've seen from Alistair. That's disturbing.
Hunt goes to the elbow.
Running in the movement. Like he'll literally turn his back and run away. Let's take a look at that.
And we see that right shin of Mark Hunt here. Overeem checks his kick, he reads it, and he kicks right on the knee, Mark Hunt. Cuts him right away.
Yeah, we take a second look here. Yeah, as soon as it just slices up the knee and it just opens up a huge cut, and they're looking at it now.
And that won't be stopped. I mean, that's more, it hurts really bad, it looks nasty, but there's not anything that's really gonna stop working for him. It's just gonna keep bleeding and pretty much hurt anytime he kicks, but Mark Hunt's as tough as they come. I guarantee you he's got tons of scar tissue in there, and this is not the first time it's happened to Mark Hunt.
I guarantee you're right. Now what's interesting though is that they put Vaseline all over his shin now. Now if there's ever any sort of a situation where there's a leg lock attempt, you got to deal with that Vaseline now. That's a huge factor.
And that's a new thing because you don't see that in boxing. You don't see that in any other sports.
And you very rarely see it in MMA. You never see someone have Vaseline on his shins.
So how do you legally deal with an injury like that?
UFC 209 presented in high definition by Marvel's Iron Fist. The Final Defender arrives March 17th on Netflix. So good point, Joe. That certainly bears watching.
It's a big factor.
Underway.
It could be a big factor in escaping from positions. It could be a big factor in getting out of leg locks. I mean, it's not that Reem is going to do that, but that option is now kind of close. Ooh, spinning back kick to the body.
We've seen a definite evolution from Alistair Overeem over his last several fights. I think the crowning performance, the win over Junior Dos Santos, that eventually led him to that title opportunity.
Brutal kick there in the body by Hunt.
Hunt very much a headhunter. Nearly 87% of his strikes landed go up top. Oof. Overeem just missed, or so it appeared.
Yeah, there's been many phases of Alistair Overeem's career, but I feel like he fights the most clever now.
He looks very sharp right now to me, Joe. He's looking good. He's making good reads. This fight is going back and forth.
shots by Overeem. Again, back to that front leg.
He's mixing things up really well, too, from the hands to the kicks to switching stances. So like you said, Dom, grabbing him and tying him up when they get in close like this.
That is a huge, huge deal, and I guarantee you they worked on that in camp because Mark Hunt is the best at forcing you into the pocket and then just swinging with him. Beautiful knee time by Overeem. Yeah. So now he's grabbing the shoulders, and now he's kneeing instead of when he looks like he's going to grab the shoulders, so he's hiding weapons now.
Oh, you hurt him with that one.
Yeah, that hurt.
Brutal knees by Overeem.
Big deep breath by Mark Hunt. Overeem with a window of opportunity here early round 2.
And I really think that the teep kicks of Overeem throughout this fight have really taken some of the air out of Mark Hunt's sails. You know, I think that he's hurting from those body shots. They do add up. It doesn't look like those teep kicks do much, but 1 or 2 of those takes your air out. You feel them every single time. It's like getting stabbed with a broomstick in the gut.
You're going to work in that position. You want to stay there, work.
Under 3 minutes here to go round 2. Every interview the Reem did this week, he talked about the physique, the strength of Mark Hunt, how he's far and away the strongest heavyweight he's ever faced, but softening him up here.
Come on, guys, show me something, please.
I don't know how that's possible since he fought Brock Lesnar.
I know. He kept going back to it, though. Oh, it looked like a knee to the
that was a hard
there.
one. No, that was to the body.
Okay. And Overeem continues to be the aggressor. Hunt counters there.
Oh,
huge elbow.
Oh, he wobbled him.
That hurt him bad.
Not a good look here for Overeem.
Oh, he tagged him again.
So now a window for Mark Hunt right here.
He's being very patient, looking for his opening, but he gave Alistair the opportunity to grab a hold of him.
And that's the thing about Mark Hunt being in the pocket. When you're in the pocket, if you grab a hold of Mark Hunt, it takes away his power now, and you have to do that when Mark Hunt does get past your range. If you don't, you're going to pay. Alistair made a good move, and now he's returning with elbows too.
Oh, nice knee to the body.
Look how Mark Hunt has the underhooks. That's one thing he's done very well, is he's got underhooks here when he does get put against the octagon fence, so he can escape here or throw punches. See how he's always got an underhook? That's key for him to escape when he wants.
And there he did it. But another nice knee to the body.
The knees don't help. The knees don't help though. You can't be eating those whether you got underhooks or not.
And Reem has just got some of the best knees in the heavyweight division. Just absolutely ruthless knees.
This just gives an example of what you have to do. You have to win the underhook war on the fence here. That's the only war you're really in here. Whoever has the underhooks can control the situation for the most part. Hunt's able to get off here, but he's letting Reem keep throwing those knees to keep him in a box.
And these are horrific knees.
Agreed.
Last time, guys.
Oh, we heard him again. He heard him.
And now Overeem with a knee.
Back. Wow.
Big shots landed on both sides here.
Well, he's really softening him up with these knees.
So they continue to jockey for position here in the clinch. Under 20 seconds now to go round 2.
If I'm Mark Hunt, you got to jack up that left underhook and slide your hips towards the underhook side. There it goes.
Oh, we heard him again.
Oh, big elbow for Hunt. It looks like we will see a third and final round, though. And there's the horn.
Woo. Look at that straight left by Alistair Overeem. And there's just one of many brutal knees to the body that he landed. Here's another one, man. And there's a nice elbow from Hunt that really stunned him. And another one there that wobbled him.
Keep your head. Keep it going. Hey, elbows are fucking nice. They're nice. They're nice.
Last round, Cus.
You gotta breathe.
Yeah.
Keep moving.
We need to turn the shit up for this last round, Cus. We need to turn the shit up for the last round.
Hey,
Yep.
Hey, go low and then come up now.
Let's
Go
go,
low
bro.
and come up.
Yeah.
Go low and come up.
Highs and lows.
With your hands.
He's fouled a few of those shots, bro. Fouled a few of those shots. Need to get that pressure on.
It's not gonna take many more.
Standing outside of his lead hand.
It's not gonna take many more.
7-Eleven text KO to 711-711 for a coupon to get a free Big Gulp or Slurpee. All right, third and final round here. Alistair Overeem, Mark Hunt. Dom, anything you heard there in either corner that you liked or didn't like?
I like that they're calling for the elbows from Mark Hunt. I think that landed well, and it's because you see Overeem when Mark Hunt does get into the pocket, Reem is open for those elbows continually. And there it was. He threw it right off the bat.
I got some blood splattered on my notes.
Yeah, nice work.
Massive 4+ minutes here in terms of this UFC heavyweight division landscape.
Anytime Alistair Overeem is southpaw, watch the left teep kick, hiding the left overhand.
Right hand is there for Overeem, unable to follow it up though.
And here comes the left again soon. He's pulling Mark Hunt into it. Ooh, nice read on the punch right there by Hunt to throw an uppercut. That's something we haven't seen a lot from Hunt, is uppercuts.
Overeem continuing to stay busy.
Boy, the audience does not like that. Isn't it funny?
It's amazing. We're covered in blood in one little circle.
Well, it's that thing when someone turns their back and runs away, even if it's just an effective tactic, people get mad.
Well, Mark Hunt had the angle on Reem, so if Reem didn't run like that, he would have been in a very bad position.
Yep. I mean, it's definitely the move.
Overeem super efficient as usual, landing 84% of his total strikes thus far. Under 3.5 now to go.
Come on, guys, I want more from that position. You want to stay there, stay busy.
Oh, you hurt him bad.
Massive knee from the Reem. Down goes Alistair Overeem.
Wow.
Alistair Overeem with his 21st career win by knockout.
Brutal, absolutely brutal knees. And Mark's trying to get back up, but he's still hurt.
What a result for Alistair Overeem tonight. This replay is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
Let's take a look at this one more time here. Oh man, just perfect.
Left elbow, right knee up the middle. Beautiful.
And you see there was a delayed reaction. His whole body just collapses. We see it again here. He's got him here. Boom, just right on the chin. And he's hurt bad here, but look at this second one, right to the side of the head, and a delayed reaction where his body just gives out. Huge victory for Alistair Overeem.
Against one of the more durable heavyweights that Octagon has ever hosted.
I would say the most durable of all time. Huge, huge victory.
And I'm not sure there's any heavyweight, Dom, that is as effective finishing fights with kicks and knees as Alistair Overeem. 21st TKO, 12th that has stemmed from a kick or a knee. This guy just continues to add to one of the better heavyweight resumes in the sport.
And that was no typical knee. That wasn't just grabbing the head and kneeing him. That was set up with the left elbow, and then it was landed up in the middle, and he's been landing it the entire fight. You've got to take your hat off to Overeem. That was a beautiful win for him.
The official decision is brought to you by Metro PCS. Get a fast nationwide 4G LTE network for only $30 period. Wireless figured out. Here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Mark Goddard has called a stop to this contest at 1 minute, 44 seconds of round number 3. Declaring the winner by knockout, Alistair "The Reem" Overeem.
Congratulations. I'm here with the winner, Alistair Overeem. Alistair, you fought a beautiful fight tonight against one of the most dangerous and one of the most durable guys in the division. And you showed that you still have the best knees in the heavyweight division in the UFC.
Listen, this man is tough. I fought him once before. I'm actually a fan of Mark. I mean, he's shown tremendous skill throughout his career. He won the K1. But, yeah, we work hard. We always work hard. We're not done yet. We're back up there, man.
Well, you looked fantastic tonight. You mixed things up beautifully. And let's take a look at the finish of the fight. You had him up against the cage and landed this picture-perfect knee. And as we said before, there's not a man in the heavyweight division that throws knees better than you. And this is the second one, and you see him go limp here. I mean, very, very few people have ever been able to do that to Mark Hunt.
He's a tough guy. Like I said, he's not been finished many times. Very proud about my crew. Sufi, Yoki Ranga, Roberto Tucson, all the coaches that I've not mentioned. Thank you guys. I love you guys. And yeah, we're not done yet.
You are right back in the heat of things again, sir. Congratulations. We look forward to seeing you again. Alistair Overeem, ladies and gentlemen.
42nd professional win in a career that dates to 1999. Speaking of legends, the former 6-time boxing world champion Roy Jones Jr. in the building for UFC 209, as is Cub Swanson. Number 4 ranked featherweight contender fights Artem Lobov in a main event on FS1 from Nashville, Tennessee, April 22nd. All right, here's a look at what is coming up on UFC Fight Pass. Cage Warriors 81, Moore versus Clark. That event from earlier today, now available on demand. EBI 11, the welterweights, live and exclusive tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern. And then next Saturday, March 11th, the UFC Fight Class prelims, Fortaleza, Brazil. They kick off 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. And the following week, Saturday, March 18th, UFC Fight Night, Jimmy Manuwa, Corey Anderson. That entire event live and exclusive from London, only on UFC Fight Pass. Download the UFC app today. UFC 209, Woodley versus Thompson 2 is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Metro PCS. Get a fast nationwide 4G LTE network for only $30 period. Wireless figured out. Marvel's Iron Fist. The Final Defender arrives March 17th on Netflix. And by 7-Eleven. Text KO to 711-711 for a coupon to get a free Big Gulp or Slurpee. The main event fighter arrivals are brought to you by Harley Davidson. See your dealer today and learn to ride like some of your favorite UFC fighters with Harley Davidson Riding Academy. Live your legend. And there is the chosen one, Tyron Woodley, a dynamic talent with a decided chip on his shoulder. At present, he is the hunted. Tonight, Woodley is in search of closure in this championship rematch. He is determined to prove that the 314 is still home to the undisputed #1 welterweight in the world. The betting favorite, though, to leave Las Vegas as the new champion is that man, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. He showed in the first meeting last November he's got the heart and the toughness to parlay with his unique set of skills. And tonight, this decorated kickboxer from Simpsonville, South Carolina, looks to complete his mission.
After 12 years of epic battles and future world champions,
He did it the hard way.
the toughest competition in sports marches on. Now, get ready for a special 25th season of The Ultimate Fighter that can only be seen on FS1 beginning Wednesday, April 19th. 14 warriors from past seasons return to the UFC Training Center, each of them looking for a shot at redemption. The coaches, bantamweight champion Cody Garbrandt and former champion TJ Dillashaw.
Cody's just such a hot-headed, arrogant ass.
You're so tough.
TJ's a dickhead.
Come on! It's time for The Ultimate Fighter. Redemption. Wednesdays on FS1.
There is a definite buzz about this 25th season of The Ultimate Fighter Redemption. The cast includes many names you've heard of, including Joe Stevenson, James Krause, Dom's old buddy Seth Baczynski is back, many more as well. Your coaches, the current bantamweight champ Cody Garbrandt, former champ TJ Dillashaw. 2-hour season premiere Wednesday, April 19th at 10 p.m. Eastern on FS1. All right, we now are ready to move along with live action from Las Vegas in the strawweight division. She turned pro less than 8 months ago. Tonight, Cynthia Calvillo has arrived at her UFC debut. We'll see how she fares against the former Ultimate Fighter finalist, Amanda Cooper. A member of Team Alpha Male, Cynthia Calvillo put together an unbeaten amateur record, but injuries delayed her pro debut until 2016. But since entering the pro ranks, Calvillo has made up for lost time by winning all 3 of her bouts, including a January victory over Montana Stewart that propelled her into the UFC for tonight's matchup with Amanda Cooper. After crashing into the UFC win column for the first time in November, Ultimate Fighter 23 finalist Cooper's confidence is at an all-time high. as she prepares for this, another high-profile strawweight showdown tonight in Las Vegas. Coming up next, Cynthia Calvillo makes her UFC debut against Amanda Cooper. So prior to the cancellation of the fight between Khabib Nurmagomedov and Tony Ferguson, this was going to be the second fight of the night on UFC Fight Pass. And here it is on pay-per-view. Cynthia Calvillo, 3-0, 29 years old, a lot of amateur experience, but had to deal with a lot of adversity. She broke a forearm and just kept breaking it, couldn't get healthy. Now here she is, making her UFC debut.
I'm fascinated by new divisions, and I'm fascinated by this division in particular because the champion is so dominant. Joanna Jędrzejczyk is so scary and so technical and such a ruthless destroyer that, you know, when you have someone who's that dominant at the top of the heap, you see the talent level of all the other people in the division rise up. And you're going to see people come in from all these other small organizations. Now the UFC has a 115-pound division. So when a young lady like Cynthia Calvillo gets this chance to enter into the octagon for the very first time, she's had some success outside the octagon. You know, you just never know what you're going to see, and you never know how far she's going to take it.
And that's exactly what you said back in the day about the UFC women's bantamweight division. That talent certainly rose up to Ronda Rousey and then some. Dom, your thoughts on Cynthia Calvillo here? 5-1 as an amateur with 3 finishes. Confidence certainly not an issue for the Team Alpha Male rep.
No, she comes from a camp that she has people to train with that have competed at the highest level, and she has women. She gets to train with Paige Van Zandt, who's another contender in the division. I mean, she's very, very confident. You see how comfortable she is. You see that she's practiced this walkout. You see that this is something that she's enjoying. She predicts a second-round finish and thinks she'll use the first round to get comfortable.
So here's Amanda Cooper, 25 years old, 3rd UFC appearance here tonight, coming off her first UFC win last November. Joined her 2 older sisters, Amy and Amber, in the boxing gym when she was 11. Her father signed her up for her first MMA fight in 2010 to see how her boxing would work. Good submissions as well, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu purple belt, but figures to have the striking advantage here tonight, at least in terms of the striking experience on paper coming in.
Well, she certainly has the experience in the UFC, even if most of it has been in the Ultimate Fighter. Just the pressure of being on that show is tremendous, and it really does build diamonds because that experience is unlike anything else you're ever going to have in your fighting career, being trapped in that house with those girls, competing against them on a regular basis like that. So just Amanda Cooper having been through that, I think it gives her a tremendous advantage.
Amanda Cooper started fighting at 11 years old. That's when she started boxing to learn to defend herself. Her dad signed her up for her first MMA fight on 2 weeks' notice. Wanted to see how her boxing would work in mixed martial arts.
So, Dom, she used to compete up a weight class at 125 pounds, and she says that the weight cut sort of helps her mentally. I mean, she's hungry, but you've said the same thing, that you feel like, even though I know you do have dreams of eventually going up to 45 and 55, that you feel like the weight cut sort of gets you ready for fight.
Yeah, I fought at 55, I fought at 45, and I fought at 35. And that being said, 135, when you have to cut that weight, you have to be precise with your diet. You have to focus. You can't come in super heavy because I won't make the weight. So you have to be a professional. I think if you're a true professional, you can cut the weight and you won't die doing it. You do it right.
Just about ready to go with the strawweights. Let's get to the tail of the tape for this one. Between Amanda Cooper, 25 years old, and the 29-year-old newcomer, Cynthia Calvillo. Calvillo 1 inch taller, 116 pounds for Cooper, 115 and a hook for Calvillo. Both women have a reach of 64 inches. Now for the official introductions, Bruce Buck.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC strawweight division. Introducing first, Fighting out of the blue corner, a freestyle fighter holding an undefeated professional record. 3 wins, no losses. She stands 5 feet 4 inches tall, weighing in at 115 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Sacramento, California. And tonight, she is making her octagon debut, presenting Cynthia Calvillo. And now introducing her opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record. 3 wins, 2 losses. She stands 5 feet 3 inches tall, weighing in at 116 pounds. Fighting out of Bath, Michigan, Amanda ABC Cooper. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Herb Dean.
Herb Dean, our referee. Chrissy Blair is here. UFC 209, Woodley versus Thompson 2. Amanda Cooper.
Ready to fight? Ready.
Taking on Cynthia Calvillo, making her UFC debut. Cooper is in white, Calvillo is in black. Calvillo getting a lot more comfortable with her striking. We'll see if she commits to it here in the early going against Cooper.
I think Calvillo is going to look for the grappling exchanges quickly, and something I like about Amanda Cooper, she stays real light on her feet, and as the fight goes on, she gets a little bit more comfortable staying light on her feet. Let's see how these two ladies match up what they're best at and see who goes for the exact game plan to beat the other person.
Cooper able to land a right hand there. Calvillo really took to the grappling and the wrestling very early on in mixed martial arts, but the striking has started to close that gap, at least thus far, Dom. Willing to stand and trade here with Cooper.
Yeah, and I give the edge with the hands to Cooper, but Calvillo's looking good. I like that combination. She just threw a 1-2 right low kick. I mean, that you got to take out the lead leg of the boxer. They usually don't check the kicks too well, and I think that'd be a good strategy for Calvillo to stop the forward pressure of Amanda Cooper.
Yeah, Cooper is clearly looking for the hands, but Calvillo has had some success getting those leg kicks off. And if she can continue that, it'll mess with Cooper's timing for sure and take some of the spring out of her step. Oh, Cooper threw the kick. Let's see what her takedown defense is like. Now Calvillo gets to do her game.
And this is where Calvillo is very comfortable and very strong.
You see her passing the guard the other way. Nice transition. Cooper did a great job there.
Yeah, and Cooper leaving the guard open and not losing position, but using her guard being open to create her own scrambles. Beautiful scramble.
Calvillo able to reverse it there, just over 3 minutes to go in the round.
Calvillo holding on to that neck.
Here's an anaconda choke attempt by Calvillo, and that's locked in right now.
Yep, she has it.
Amanda Cooper needs to push out on the elbow, the right elbow
She's rolling.
of Calvillo.
She's rolling.
Amanda Cooper needs to push the right elbow out.
She's losing the position, but she's taking the back. What a beautiful transition. Oh, man, I love it.
So
Cynthia
Cooper,
Calvillo, what a great job. Losing that position is tricky, but in the scramble winds up taking the back. That's high level.
That's just the dexterity of these ladies. They're so flexible. They can do things you don't see a lot of these gentlemen do, and that's one of them. That's an odd position that got created, and she's in a very dominant position from the anaconda choke because of her dexterity and the way that she could scramble. Nice move by Calvillo.
7-Eleven, text KO to 711-711 for a coupon to get a free Big Gulp or Slurpee. Just over 2 minutes here to go round one. Calvillo, an excellent back taker. She has Cooper's here.
Yeah, she's doing a good job in controlling the back, but there it is, trying to sink that arm underneath the neck. That's it. That's a wrap. That's a wrap, folks.
Cooper fighting hands hard.
Wow. Is she going to get off this?
She'll switch to a gable.
Well, she's underneath the neck, though.
Oh, now she's got it. It's over.
Yeah.
There's the tap. Cynthia Calvillo.
Wow.
Welcome to the big show.
Very, very nice. Very nice. Beautiful grappling technique. Great job avoiding the strikes on the feet, avoiding particularly the hands, landing some kicks, but man, when it got to the ground, her skill set shined.
Man, so Calvillo, slight favorite coming in, lives up to the hype, and then some. Some people wondered, oh, this is the fight they're putting on the pay-per-view. Nice showcase for Cynthia Calvillo tonight. The fight replay is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
It was a nice double leg by Cooper, but you see the roll through by Calvillo straight to the anaconda choke because Cooper was reaching out with her arms. Cooper does a good job defending by going to her belly and pushing the elbow out. But Calvillo to roll over the top with her dexterity and take the back here is extremely unorthodox, but extremely good grappling. It shows how fluent they are at Team Alpha Male when they grapple, especially these ladies.
That was so impressive. That the ability to transition from that anaconda roll to taking the back like that, just outstanding.
And Chris Holdsworth deserves a lot of credit. Jiu-jitsu coach at Team Alpha Male. Certainly we wish he was competing. Health issues have prevented him from doing so, but he had to like that one. Bruce Buffer probably liked it. He's got the official decision. The Metro PCS official decision brought to you by Metro PCS. Get a fast nationwide 4G LTE network for only $30 period. Wireless figured out. Here's Buff.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean has called a stop to this contest at 3 minutes, 19 seconds of the very first round. Declaring the winner by submission due to a rear naked choke, Cynthia Calvillo.
I'm here with the winner, Cynthia Calvillo. First of all, congratulations on a successful UFC debut on pay-per-view. A lot of pressure, but boy, did you shine tonight.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I was ready. I mean, I knew the opportunity, but I've been working for this opportunity for a very long time, so I was ready.
Well, you showed really well-rounded skills tonight. You showed great movement and kicks on the feet, but when it got to the ground, that's really when you put on a show. Let's take a look at that transition you did from the anaconda to taking the back. That was just absolutely beautiful. You wound up on your back here, but this dexterity and flexibility, I don't think people realize how difficult this is to get to this.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I train at Team Alpha Male. We got some of the best grapplers in the world, so I got to give all my, all the credit to them for sure.
Well, listen, you really put on a show tonight. Congratulations. It's a huge UFC debut. Enjoy it and look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you so much. Saludos a todos en México. Mi familia, los quiero mucho. A mi mamá, mi papá. Muchas gracias. Los amo. Thank you so much, everybody. Hey, Dana White, give my boy Joseph Morales a chance. Up and coming flyweight. Give him a fucking chance. He's ready.
Cynthia Calvillo, ladies and gentlemen.
Cynthia Calvillo making the most of that post-fight hit with Joe Rogan. Her first professional win by submission comes tonight. Tonight's champions in the crowd brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. And there is Michael Bisping, the UFC middleweight champion, his wife Rebecca, his son Lucas, all in the building tonight. As is the UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Johnson. Next title defense, number 10 against Wilson Hayes, April 15th in Kansas City. Also here, Cody Garbrandt, the UFC bantamweight champ and former WEC featherweight champion, and his right-hand man, Uriah Faber. All right, coming up next, it will be the long-awaited middleweight debut of Sugar Rashad Evans. Made the weight with ease, the former light heavyweight champion, ready to make his statement to his new division tonight. That could be easier said than done, though, against the impossibly tough Australian Daniel Kelly, four-time judo Olympian, who would be an improbable 6-1 in the UFC if he can secure the biggest win of his career tonight in Vegas. Well, the UFC's next pay-per-view will be Saturday, April 8th from Buffalo, New York. The stars are all lined up for UFC 210.
One shot is all it takes. That's a terrifying man. Cormier mauls people.
You can tell him that I've been from hell and back. When the heat is on, I fire back.
You the man, baby, but I'm coming for you.
Let's go. Daniel Cormier, the UFC light heavyweight champion. I mean, you want to talk volume. 140 significant strikes landed versus Alexander Gustafsson. I mean, that's just an incredible work rate for a light heavyweight. 26 career takedowns. One of the very best wrestlers to ever compete in mixed martial arts. And you see their 80% takedown defense. I mean, he's just a phenomenal fighter in his prime right now. UFC light heavyweight champion Daniel Cormier, and what a fight he has against Anthony Rumble Johnson.
Yeah, let's not forget about Anthony Johnson. I mean, this is the guy that went in there and fought DC, with the first punch he threw, was able to put DC to the floor. I mean, DC came back and did what he needed to do to win, but you can never doubt somebody who can knock anybody out with any orifice of his body. Not to mention, let's not forget, he started out wrestling. So wrestling is his first art. Punching and hurting people is his second, and he punches and hurts people better than he usually wrestles. And that's what makes it interesting with a matchup with DC, is because you know DC's gonna wrestle, but the question is, can he get through the takedown defense of Anthony Johnson? And if if Anthony Johnson can stuff the takedown, can DC stand with him with the power that Johnson has? And can Johnson take the workload that DC puts on? Such a fun fight. Anthony Johnson has been improving everywhere. I cannot wait for this matchup.
And it's important to point out that in the first fight, Rumble Johnson was preparing for John Jones, a very different fighter. And DC is a much more smothering style than Jones does. But what a rematch that's going to be.
That is your headliner, April 8th at UFC 210. But up next here in Las Vegas, this feature bout between Rashad Evans and Daniel Kelly. Joe, I know Kelly was surprised, pleasantly surprised he got the call, and a fight of this magnitude, he was more than happy to answer the bell and make the long trip to Vegas.
This is one durable, tough man, and an Olympian in judo, outstanding grappling, unbelievable durability. But I think Rashad Evans should have been a middleweight all along. I really do. I mean, we have to remember he started out his career as a heavyweight, won the Ultimate Fighter as a heavyweight, then dropped down to light heavyweight, had an amazing career, of course, was the UFC light heavyweight champion. But I think this is the weight class that he should have been competing at all along.
And it's usually completely opposite. Guys that when they get older, they usually go up a weight class. Rashad Evans is finding his home lighter, looking better than ever, in my opinion, the way his physique looks, how happy he looks making the weight. I cannot wait to see how he looks at this weight class against somebody like this judo practitioner that he's about to face. I mean, this is not a game, this guy that Rashad's fighting. It is no easy out.
Yeah, you don't sleep on Daniel Kelly. Rashad isn't. He knows a good start tonight does not guarantee him a good finish. He knows it's going to take a big effort to get Daniel Kelly out of there tonight. So after a storied career at 205 pounds, former world champ Rashad Evans will now tackle the best middleweights in the game, beginning with the super tough, ageless Australian, Daniel Kelly. Fight fans have been eagerly anticipating Rashad Evans' 185-pound debut for some time. Tonight, the former light heavyweight king steps into the octagon as a middleweight for the first time against surging Australian Daniel Kelly.
Fighting Rashad tonight's a massive opportunity. He's an icon and a legend of the sport, and I'm really grateful for the chance to get into the octagon and have a go against him.
Daniel Kelly's a tough guy. He's a really tough guy, but at the end of the day, tough is not going to be enough. I'm going to go in there, and I'm going to do what I do, which is put a hurting on him.
A four-time member of the Australian Olympic judo team, Kelly has gone from being one of his country's most accomplished Olympians to a mixed martial arts star. His consecutive wins over Steve Montgomery, Antonio Carlos Jr., and Chris Camozzi have gotten the attention of his peers in the division and UFC fans around the world.
This fight's going to be very exciting. Obviously, it's a great opportunity. I want to put a good show on for the fans.
A former UFC champion, Evans has fought and defeated the elite at 205 pounds. His combination of speed, power, and wrestling established him as one of the best to ever wear the belt. But Evans begins a new chapter in his career tonight as he gets ready to face the middleweight division's top dogs.
Now that I'm, at 85, it feels like it's a natural place for me to be, and I should have been here a lot longer. And, I'm excited to have this fresh start, new weight class, and new chance to fight new people.
So here's the Melbourne native, Daniel Kelly, 12-1 for his MMA career that dates to 2006. But really, Joe, he only started his proper full-time MMA training in 2012 after officially retiring from judo competition.
And he's had some very good wins in his career, especially the Antonio Carlos Jr. fight. I mean, that is a very, very tough guy and a fantastic grappler. So for him to stop that guy just speaks volumes. I think for him in this fight, the real issues are going to come on the feet. Rashad Evans is very fast, and I think at 185 he's going to be even faster. If you look at that opening right hand that he landed when he fought Rampage Jackson, or the right hand that he knocked out Chuck Liddell with, that's what he has to worry about. Daniel Kelly has to worry about closing that distance. But once they do engage in a grappling exchange, if that does happen, Daniel Kelly is a dangerous man in those positions.
Now the difference in the grappling exchanges is this. I mean, you got Daniel Kelly, who's a judo practitioner. This is all from your waist up. You're not allowed to attack the legs in judo. You need to attack the upper body. Whereas Rashad Evans is a lower body type of wrestler. That's shooting double legs, that's shooting single legs, high crotches with your head on the outside. So one attacks the top half of the body and the other grappling attacks the bottom half of the body. How are these two gonna match up? Does Daniel Kelly have the takedown defense when you're attacking his legs like he does in the upper body? And does Rashad have the upper body strength, dexterity, the tricks that Daniel Kelly has when he's in the over-under clinch? I mean, this is a real question because while they're both grapplers, they're completely different types of grapplers.
Daniel Kelly, the only man to make 4 Australian Olympic judo teams, highest finish in those 4 Olympic games, 7th in 2004. Not sure exactly, maybe they're making him take off a brace. No, knee brace is good to go. So Daniel Kelly, 39 years old, striking defense, at least on paper, 2nd highest among active middleweights. So somewhat flat-footed, somewhat plodding on the feet, but he does understand distance, and at least to this point, he's been a hard guy to hit. Last 4 fights in Australia, Daniel Kelly in the fight capital tonight.
Boy, that knee is wrapped up like a mummy. You can see it underneath the knee brace.
All right, so here is Sugar Rashad Evans making the walk for his 31st professional fight, first as a middleweight. He did bring in his good friend Roddy Ferguson in terms of the judo knowledge and the transitions, judo's application to mixed martial arts. He feels like he's ready for Daniel Kelly's setups, at least in that realm tonight.
Well, as Dom said, Rashad is a great grappler. He is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He has outstanding striking, and I think that's where he's going to shine in this fight. I think it's in his speed and his distance. That man, Tyrone Spong, who he trains with on a daily basis, one of the very best kickboxers in the world. And I think that Rashad's best chances to win this fight are on the feet. Movement, speed, which I think he had in, he had it in abundance. At 205, I think at 185, he's going to be like lightning.
Rashad told me that he likes this weight class better because it forces him to live more like a professional athlete outside of fight camp. He said that in the past at 205, he would kind of let himself go a little bit. He wouldn't train every day, possibly, would eat what he wanted, drink what he wanted, and at this weight class, he's forced to be professional year-round, which he says makes him feel better when he competes. He feels better when he trains. He feels better when he's in there with everybody and everything that he does because he's living a more healthy, clean lifestyle now than he ever has.
His future, in all likelihood, is in the UFC Hall of Fame. Knocked out Chuck Liddell back at UFC 88, and then a few months later there in 2008, TKO'd Forrest Griffin to win the UFC light heavyweight title. 14 UFC wins after he won the Ultimate Fighter at heavyweight all the way back in 2005. So more than a decade inside the octagon for Sugar Rashad Evans, and does have championship aspirations at middleweight. Tonight's certainly a good litmus test for him, but this is not a one and done for Rashad. And even though maybe it took him longer than many expected to get to this, which could be a natural weight class, Rashad feels like he can really make a run tonight. First order of business, the durable Daniel Kelly tonight.
This matchup reminds me of one we saw earlier, Joe, with Mirsad Bektic and Darren Elkins, in the sense that Bektic was the quicker fighter, but that didn't necessarily get him the win. I mean, speed is a huge weapon, but you could see that just because you're not the faster, the most athletic, that's what's beautiful about this sport. You can find a way to win. Darren Elkins proved that tonight, and I think that Rashad does have the edge in speed and a little bit of athleticism, obviously, but do not leave Daniel Kelly out of this. He is one of the toughest individuals in this entire world. I promise you that, just like Darren Elkins, and he can't weather a storm to come back and win at any moment.
I absolutely agree.
Rashad has said he knows he's fighting a guy who has the mindset of a champion. And with that, we get to the tail of the tape for this feature bout in the middleweight division. Rashad Evans, 37 years old. Daniel Kelly will be 40 on Halloween. Both men 6 feet even. 185 pounds for Evans, 186 for Kelly. Rashad will have a reach advantage of 4.5 inches. And now for the official introductions, the veteran voice of the Octagon, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC middleweight division. Introducing first, Fighting out of the blue corner, a judo fighter holding a professional record, 12 wins, 1 loss. He stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 186 pounds. Fighting out of Melbourne, Australia, Daniel Kelly. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a boxer and a wrestler, holding a professional record, 24 wins, 5 losses, 1 draw. He stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 185 pounds. Fighting out of Boca Raton, Florida, UFC light heavyweight champion, Sugar Rashad Evans. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Big John McCarthy.
John McCarthy, our referee for this one. Rashad Evans making his UFC middleweight debut and returning for the first time in just about a year and taking on...
All right, you ready? You ready?
That man, it's not Brett Favre, it's the Australian Daniel Kelly. Kelly in black, Rashad Evans in blue. We are underway.
The right hand is going to be the key weapon for Rashad against the southpaw and Daniel Kelly.
Well, you got to wonder how injured that right knee of Daniel Kelly's is, that he has it so wrapped up, taped up underneath the knee brace.
He doesn't care.
I guess he doesn't.
I promise you he doesn't.
He says he feels like he gets a full training camp. He can compete with the best 85ers in the world. Had 7 weeks to prepare for this one. 7-Eleven. Text KO to 711 for a coupon to get a free Big Gulp or Slurpee.
Look how Daniel Kelly slides out with the right. He goes right jab, right hook to slide outside the power side of Rashad Evans, and he fires his left hand. But Rashad's speed is just really something else right now at this weight class.
He looks shredded at 185 pounds, too.
He was 191 pounds last Sunday night after his training, so really took it seriously. Dom, you mentioned some of that commitment. We'll see if it results in a W tonight in his middleweight debut.
Yeah, he looks so different.
It's crazy, right? The facial structure just looks like he belongs in this middleweight division. 3.5 minutes to go, round 1.
It's going to be interesting to see whether or not he throws kicks. Because right now he's primarily staying on the outside and using his hands. I wonder if he'll feel, oh, Kelly caught him with the left hand there. If he'll feel confident enough with his takedown defense to throw some kicks. Remember the Sean Salmon head kick Rashad had?
Right.
One of the very few head kicks, really he's thrown in his career. He's not really known for it, but man, does he have some power.
And remember, it was on that right side, and Daniel Kelly being a southpaw, that sets up Rashad Evans for his best weapon, which is that right high kick against the southpaw.
Left hand is there for Daniel Kelly, who actually said the 2 fights that he primarily watched in terms of his film study, the Sean Salmon fight and the Little Nog fight. 2 of the few southpaws that Rashad Evans has faced in the UFC.
Well, Rashad really struggled in the Little Nog fight.
Yeah.
Little Nog is an excellent boxer, and he caught Rashad early in that. Oh, he stunned him.
And that's the jab, right hook, left hand of Daniel Kelly. He's sliding to the weak side of Rashad, meaning the lead leg, and that keeps him out of danger so that he's not walking into the right hand of Rashad Evans, but landing his own left hand.
He's doing a really good job of keeping that right foot on the outside. He's doing it again there. Oh,
see how he's throwing that loopy hook to go to the weak side of Rashad.
Close the hand, Daniel.
Just over 2 minutes here to go, round 1. Here's a shot from Rashad Evans.
Beautiful transition. Overhand right to a high crotch to take the back. That's a striking to grappling transition. Very nice. And great defense by Kelly. This is where Kelly is the best, right in this upper body clinch area. And that's the difference in grappling right there. One attacked the legs, the other attacked the upper body.
A lot of people forget Daniel Kelly came off the Ultimate Fighter Nations in 2014 and said after the loss in the house, I just want to redeem myself in the UFC. How's 5-1 out of the chute for Kelly?
Oh, beautiful uppercut.
Nice read.
Oh! Kelly able to clip Rashad with a left hand there.
Remember how John Jones fought Rashad and he kept grabbing his hands and then elbowing him. You're seeing Kelly use the grab the hand method against Rashad in order to get Rashad to not defend the right hook of Kelly. So he'll grab at the hand and then fire a right hook and then a left hand. Good tactic by Kelly.
Kelly again finds a home for that left hand. He's dealing with a cut on the face.
I'd like to see Rashad keep mixing up the grappling. He needs to keep trying the takedowns. Even if he doesn't get them, trying the takedowns will break up the rhythm of Kelly and keep him on his heels.
Needs the body for Rashad.
Kelly's just so threatening in the clinch. And as you worry about those takedowns, he sneaks in those sneaky punches.
He's just so fluent with digging underhooks, pulling your head down, dragging you one side, and then firing off that. I mean, his judo is top notch. And these judo practitioners are literally some of the toughest human beings on earth because they're getting thrown their whole career.
There's that kick. Woo. Some serious power.
Big kick.
Kelly seemed to eat it without issue. 5 minutes in the can.
Here we see a left hand landed by Kelly, and there's another one, really an unorthodox punch. And here's the last kick of the round.
Don't let him stall you with the hands. Don't let him stall you. Every time he throws a lazy jab, parry right hand, like we drilled it, okay? Every time he throws a lazy jab, parry right hand. The right kick to the body is there all the time. I asked for it one time. You did it, you hear the sound, it hurts. Keep doing that, okay?
Next Saturday, catch FS1 UFC Fight Night. Belfort versus Gastelum. The middleweight showdown pits the former champion Vitor Belfort against rising contender Kelvin Gastelum. Main card on FS1 begins 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific next Saturday, March 11th, from the equator in Fortaleza, Brazil. All right, round 2 here. Rashad Evans and Daniel Kelly.
You ready? Get up.
I like Tyrone Spong telling Rashad to keep throwing that left body kick, that right body kick. Daniel Kelly is facing that kick, so it's hard to defend it. And if he goes to the body, it'll set up that right high kick that we were talking about earlier, Joe.
Yeah, Rashad really does have some powerful kicks, too. It's not his primary weapon.
There we go.
Nice little trip there by Daniel Kelly. He's a crafty guy.
Rashad able to duck underneath that left hand offering.
I like how he uses that trip, Dom.
He's using it to stick Rashad so he can't move backwards. We saw Yoel Romero use the same tactic in some fights. He'll hook that lead leg and then you can't move away from his punches.
Yep.
Nice. That's a wizard throw. It's like a wizard is with that overhook. And you kind of use it, you jack that leg up and then you can toss him sometimes, but Rashad's got that wrestling background, so he's got a great base.
Well, and it appears, at least to this point, the work he's done with Roddy Ferguson defensively has paid dividends.
Agreed, Anik.
Under 4 minutes now to go, round 2. Kelly with a 1-2.
Spong's calling for the body kick right now. Let's see if he throws it.
Massive welt on that left side of Kelly, courtesy of the Rashad body kick at the end of round 1.
Oh, he tagged him. He tagged him.
Yeah, Rashad bit down on the mouthpiece there, Joe.
And I don't like how Rashad's reaching for the hands of Kelly. When you reach for the hands, it leaves opening for Kelly to throw the long combinations.
Get back, hands working. Yes, bro, nice. Nothing is your game there. Hand on, judo. Then mix, do the mix then. Get out, mix it. Judo time,
Elbows, Daniel.
Hands up, yes. Hands up, then judo.
Andrew Colgrave in the corner of Daniel Kelly. Ooh.
Big knee by Rashad.
Kelly trying to work his way into the pocket here.
Oh, we got poked.
Get over there. Come here. It's all right, relax. I want you to take some time. You see me? I'm gonna bring a doctor in just to look at it, just make sure it's okay, but we're gonna get it going, okay? Don't worry about the crowd, you're gonna get going, okay? Giving you a little bit more time to clear your eye out. Just take a look real quick for me, Doc. It's his right eye. Good? Okay, stay right where you're at, okay? Just push it away, make sure the hand's closed, all right? We're good to keep the hand closed. Ready? Fight!
So it was that thumb of Rashad Evans that clipped that right eye of Daniel Kelly. Back underway at the midpoint of round 2.
Good kick to the body by Kelly. Boy, Kelly's been surprisingly effective with his strikes, Dom.
He is, and I think that really has a lot to do with him being a southpaw against a conventional fighter. Rashad, I think the southpaw stance giving Rashad a little bit of trouble the way that Kelly is using it very effectively, sliding to the weak side, using his trips to try to set up the left hand. And there's that body kick that Spong's been calling for. That hurt Kelly right there.
Well, if it hurt him, he didn't show it, then he lands the knee to the body.
He never shows it. Look at his knee. He doesn't care about pain.
Right hand got through for Evans. Pretty good head movement there by Rashad.
When it comes out.
Kelly again with a combination.
Yeah, Rashad needs to use more combinations. He's using one punch at a time, one kick at a time. He's not using his hands to set up his takedowns right now. One at a time isn't going to do as well. He needs combinations right now against Kelly. There it is. There's a nice transition he used. Very nice by Rashad. Now Deuce, let's see him do some damage here with it. Watch Rashad try to...
Kick on the break.
Yeah.
Kelly has been the far more active guy over the last several years. Rashad Evans, you may recall, had a 2-year layoff between 2013 and 2015, and then after the Glover Teixeira fight last April, unable to compete in November and December, finally turning around here in March, but another long layoff for Evans, perhaps a little rust tonight.
Good kick by Kelly.
I think it's so much rust as much as Kelly's doing a good job utilizing the weapons he has and the stance he has. And there's that high kick. Good read, though. That was there. Just barely missed it.
Tremendous pressure being put on Rashad by Kelly.
Winding down here, round 2. Evans back to that body kick.
I think some inside kicks to that lead leg of Kelly would help Rashad a lot with the body kick and the right high kick as well.
2 rounds down, 1 to go.
Boy, sit down. Big deep breaths.
There, no slot from the knees, sharp from the knees. Walk forward, don't let him walk, don't let him step back. I don't want to see you stepping back anytime. You just walk forward, walk to your right, you get this fight. Simple as that. Use your jab, let go your left hand.
Tired as well, Danny. He's tired as well. He's tired.
Dan, this is how you win fights the last round. Don't take a step back, okay? You keep your hands tight and you keep the pressure on.
Right uppercut, step in with it, yeah, because he's leaping forward, okay? Let's put some on him, okay? Last round, won both rounds, but you got to put some more pressure on him. Hey, let's go. Fire off, fire here.
With the new scoring system, you're not real sure how this is going to be scored, but I kind of give it to Kelly. I think he's got a little bit more output. And, you know, I think Rashad needs to throw more combinations with his boxing, and he also needs to use the combinations to set up his kicks, and he needs to use combinations in order to set up his takedowns. One punch at a time, one kick at a time isn't doing it right now.
It's certainly a competitive fight, and it's certainly close.
The significant strike picture tells you that Kelly has outlanded Evans 45-18 through 10 minutes. Rashad with a left hand there, Joe.
I'm sorry, John, but not only that, he's constantly moving forward. He's making a lot of this happen. Tremendous pressure, constantly putting pressure on Rashad. And there's been no big moments. So when beautiful trip. When there's been no big moments, you really kind of have to rely on volume.
Right.
And in that sense, Kelly has been outstriking Rashad. I found it was interesting that Tyrone Spong was convinced that Rashad had won the first 2 rounds.
Right. Henry Hoof behind him out of the octagon seemed less convinced.
I mean, it could be right. Honestly, we don't know with the judging systems. We're looking at what we're seeing, and the numbers say that Kelly's ahead on the numbers, so that's all you can really say so far.
I mean, Rashad could be winning. It's possible.
He did get some takedowns, too.
Yes,
and
very close.
Kelly hasn't really gotten any takedowns, so that's a deciding factor as well.
Yeah, Kelly unofficially 0 for 6 on his takedown attempts. Nice 1-2 there by Evans.
But those takedowns were very brief, and he got, there was a nice uppercut by Rashad, and that was what Tyrone Spong was calling for. Let's see if he goes to that well again, though.
That's the second time he's landed that heavy. It's going to be there.
That uppercut might have stunned Kelly more than any other strike in the fight.
Keep pushing. Short arm. That's it.
No, it's good. Go.
Go. Uppercut. That's it. Go. Press it, Rashad.
What a beautiful trip. I love how he does that. It's such a sneaky move.
It only works because it's southpaw versus conventional, so the lead legs are touching each other. If it was conventional versus conventional, it wouldn't work. That's why you see Yoel Romero do it so well as well.
Yeah.
Nice body kick by Rashad.
Beautiful.
He keeps going to that. I'd like to see him go high with it some more. And like I said, combinations would really help Rashad right now, not one at a time.
Rashad starting to find his range here, round 3, but Kelly's forward motion, always a good look. Good fight playing out here, good round. Both guys exchanging in the pocket. Under 2.5 now to go.
I think Rashad's got to try to really push forward and overwhelm him with some offense the last 2.5 minutes at least. Just to try to bring things towards his side more, I believe.
He did land that really powerful uppercut, but Kelly is just a zombie.
I mean, I don't know if there's any better way to describe it.
He just keeps coming.
And he's been that way in every matchup he's had.
Yep.
Never changed from it.
Oh, Rashad just missed on the head kick, did not miss with that right hand follow. Uppercut now for Kelly.
You gotta commend Kelly for firing back the low kick off the right high kick of Rashad.
And nice uppercut there by Kelly as well.
Agreed. Good hips by Rashad there, though. That was a setup, good throw, and Rashad was able to power out of that with good balance.
Great defense.
It'll be interesting to talk to Evans after this fight to hear how his body felt at 185 pounds. It's one thing to make the weight. As Kenny Florian always says, it's another to fight at the weight.
That's a very good point, especially with his long history of competing at 205.
What I heard, he didn't use a nutritionist either, so who knows what he used for the weight cut or anything. It's a big cut for him, and he did it himself.
Pretty strong third round, though, for Rashad. Kelly has undoubtedly had his moments.
Good
1 minute to go.
Nice knee to the body by Rashad as well. Kelly just keeps coming back, man, again.
I mean, you're seeing Rashad throw 1, you're seeing Kelly throw 3, and that's what the tale has been pretty much so far.
Oh, nice uppercut there. Sort of a shovel hook. And another left. Again with that trip.
Nice, Rashad mixed it up with some combinations.
Let go. Time. Get over there.
What happened?
Don't you grab his shorts.
Tore his
grab
pants.
his shorts again, I'm going to take points from you, understand? Fight.
A little bit out of character there from Rashad Evans. Final seconds of the fight playing out here.
I guarantee Rashad did not mean to do that. He was trying for a takedown.
Oh.
And now he's going like he should have been going the last 2.5 minutes. This is what Rashad needs to keep going right here.
Look at these middleweights going at it.
Wow.
Yes, keep going, and these guys will put on a great show to end the fight.
Wow. What a way to close out an outstanding and competitive fight. Daniel Kelly raising his hand, believes he's done enough to spoil the middleweight debut of Rashad Evans. This fight replay is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
There's a left hand there, and there's another left hand by Daniel Kelly. And there's a big body kick by Rashad Evans. There's a left hand over the top by Kelly. And a beautiful uppercut there by Rashad. And a nice one returned by Kelly. Very competitive fight.
Yeah, Rashad really closed the gap in terms of the numbers, at least, with an active third round. Far more volume from Evans down the stretch.
And at the end, I mean, they were just going for it towards the end.
Third round was easily Rashad's best round.
A lot of mutual respect there. Rashad Evans said coming in, if you watch the film on Daniel Kelly, you could overlook him, but he certainly did not. Evans and Kelly go the distance tonight in Las Vegas. A Kelly win means he's 6-1 in the octagon for Rashad. Trying to lock up a 15th UFC win, but more importantly, his first as a 185-pound fighter. The official decision is brought to you by Metro PCS. Get a fast nationwide 4G LTE network for only $30 period. Wireless figured out. Bruce Buffer now with the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. Dave Hagan scores the contest 29-28 Kelly. Chris Lee scores it 29-28 Evans. And Derek Cleary scores the contest 29-28 for the winner by split decision, Daniel Kelly.
That's history. That's history. That's history. Joy.
Congratulations. I'm here with the winner, Daniel Kelly. Daniel, congratulations on the biggest win of your UFC career. Former UFC light heavyweight champion Rashad Evans. How does that feel?
Feels awesome. Thank you very much to Rashad for taking the fight. What a legend and an icon. I couldn't be happier. That's awesome.
You had a grueling fight, and you fought at a very fast pace. Your utilization of a lot of the trips, especially particularly with your right leg, was a big factor. What's going on with your knee, the way it's all taped up like that?
Well, I had a reconstruction on it 11 years ago. Re-injured it again when I was in the tough house. And to be honest, I'd have to take almost a year off to get it fixed again. So as long as I'm allowed to wear a neoprene sleeve and tape it, I'll fight anyone, anywhere, as long as I have time to train.
So it's like an ACL tear?
No. It's the medial ligament's really loose, and the lateral meniscus is split in half, and it slides everywhere.
Well, you really defined toughness in this fight. I mean, you kept pressing forward. You kept smothering him. Tremendous volume. This is a huge, huge victory for you.
It's an awesome one. My striking's starting to look better, huh?
You look very good.
Better. So, look, I reckon I'm due for a ranked opponent next. Maybe back over the other side of my world. So that'd be awesome. But thank you very much, guys. First time in Vegas for fighting. Awesome. Thank you.
Congratulations, sir, on a huge victory. Daniel Kelly, ladies and gentlemen.
Dom, that is a savage right there. I know Rashad Evans disappointed with the decision, but it goes to Daniel Kelly tonight.
Rashad Evans, good friend of mine. I hate to see my friends lose, but Daniel Kelly went out there and did exactly what he needed to. He fought an extremely smart fight on his feet, and in the judo clinches, he made the best he could to hit combinations and make it a dirty boxing fight. Awesome fight by Daniel Kelly. Big win.
Huge win.
Speaking of huge wins, Francis Ngannou has produced several of them, 10-1 out of the chute. He has vaulted into heavyweight contention. There's the 2015 Major League Baseball AL MVP, Blue Jays third baseman Josh Donaldson here tonight. If Wonderboy Thompson wins the welterweight belt, Donaldson will strap him. And there is Tony Ferguson, El Cucuy, 23-3. Unfortunately, Joe not getting a chance to fight for that interim belt tonight.
Yeah, massive disappointment. I was looking forward to that fight so much. Hopefully they can do it again, and hopefully Khabib can take some lessons on how to cut weight from Dominic Cruz.
All right, coming up next, we will get to the co-main event. Few lightweights with as much steam right now as that man, the Jackson Wink MMA product, Lando Venata. Forget the knockout of the year back in December. He has visions of a title run. He will try to continue that quest here as he takes on the surging Swedish southpaw David Tamer. Certainly has some pop in his own right. He'll be chasing a third UFC knockout in as many UFC appearances. Well, on April 8th, the focus shifts to Buffalo, New York for UFC 210, and for Anthony "Rumble" Johnson, the consensus biggest power puncher in the sport, an opportunity to even the score with DC.
Rumble running out of gas mid-time. He's fading hardcore. Daniel's got it under the bag. Trying to lock it up. He's gonna tap. It is all over. Daniel Cormier is the new UFC light heavyweight champion.
This fight between Anthony "Rumble" Johnson and UFC light heavyweight champion Daniel Cormier is a long time coming. This rematch is 2 years after their first bout and has been rescheduled more than once. An amazing first round for Anthony "Rumble" Johnson, where he managed to have Daniel Cormier stumbling around the octagon.
Oh! Rocked. Rumble with big power early.
Landed some heavy bombs. But Cormier weathered the storm and put the grind on "Rumble" Johnson, eventually broke him down with his pace and his wrestling, and secured the choke for the finish.
Daniel's got it under the bag. To lock it up.
He's gonna tap.
It is all over. Daniel Cormier is the new.
Daniel Cormier believes he can do it again. "Rumble" Johnson believes that he has learned what went wrong, has corrected all those issues, and will prevail and walk out with the title this time around.
Oh my goodness! That's it! It is all over!
"Rumble" Johnson connects on people and they just shut off.
Oh my! Just like that!
Cormier has lined up in his mind 3 fights. Beating "Rumble" Johnson, beating John Jones, beating John Jones again. But one man stands in his way of those goals, and that man is the scariest light heavyweight in the world today, Anthony "Rumble" Johnson.
So the rematch between Daniel Cormier and Anthony "Rumble" Johnson coming up in about 5 weeks or so. You see the current light heavyweight rankings. The champ DC, #1 ranked Anthony Johnson. We are getting close to the rematch. Dom, Daniel Cormier trying to improve to 19-1 and continue to add to what is in all likelihood a Hall of Fame legacy.
Yeah, Daniel Cormier is just one of the best grapplers in the UFC. I think people sleep on it because sometimes you look at him and you're like, oh, he can't grapple that good. Then you see him pick up a guy like Alexander Gustafsson and flip him over his head. John Jones, flip him over his head. Dan Henderson, flip him over his head. I mean, he picks people up and makes them look like they're piñatas. I mean, he is non-stop, and the way that he can just grind on you with his wrestling and striking is like no one else.
And Anthony "Rumble" Johnson is, without a doubt, the scariest knockout artist in the division. He is absolutely terrifying. Puts people away, has supreme confidence in his power, has an iron chin, and has been able to knock out some really tough customers like Jimmy Manuwa, like Glover Teixeira, like Alexander Gustafsson. I mean, he is a destroyer. And I'm really interested to see how he fares having a full camp in preparation for the style of Daniel Cormier.
Right, and an extended training camp after they were unable to fight in December at UFC 206. So, main card. Here's how it shapes up for UFC 210, KeyBank Center, Buffalo, New York. Strong main card here, Dom. Former middleweight champ Chris Weidman getting another home state showcase, taking on the streaking Gegard Mousasi. Thiago Alves, Patrick Cote, Ill Will Brooks taking on Charles Du Bronx Oliveira. That is all coming your way at UFC 210. Tickets are still available. Still plenty to get to here. We have now arrived at our co-main event for UFC 209. Well, Lando Venata and David Tamer have introduced themselves to UFC fans with spectacular knockouts that have led them here to Vegas to go head-to-head in this must-see lightweight encounter. Lightweight up-and-comers Lando Venata and David Tamer have parlayed stunning knockouts and a willingness to throw caution to the wind into reputations as must-see performers at 155 pounds. Tonight, they stand in each other's way on the greatest proving ground in the sport.
Lando likes to strike, but I am from another planet of striker. I'm the guy that's gonna take the MMA, UFC
striking to the new level.
Both David and I are super exciting fighters. We bring a high pace with totally opposing styles, and when we get together inside the octagon, it's going to be fireworks.
A 4-time Swedish champion in Muay Thai, Tamer took a steady road to tonight's showcase bout in Vegas. A run on the European circuit and then a successful stint on The Ultimate Fighter led him to the octagon, where he has since scored 2 knockout wins over Martin Svensson and Jason Novelli.
Tonight is my night. I'm gonna beat Lando Vanata because I am a much better fighter and experienced. Time never lie. Be ready.
A year ago, Lando Vanata was battling it out on the local MMA scene and hoping for his shot to make a mark in the big show. Well, in July of 2016, he got that call. And after turning in a fight of the night battle with Tony Ferguson and then the consensus knockout of the year over John Makdessi, Vanata is one of the hottest prospects in the UFC today.
I got to get an impressive victory tonight against David to make my case and start rising up the ranks.
So here is David Tamer. He's won 5 in a row since dropping his pro debut out of the chute. 2-0 in the UFC. And Dom, he's really gotten better as the lights have gotten brighter.
Says that he has 70 fights at the K1 level from 14 years old to 24 years old. This man has been kickboxing. I mean, he is very good from the outside. He knows how to time his kicks. He knows how to time his punches, and you can see that. Look at these knockouts that this man is inflicted on his opponents. I mean, the left hand that he throws comes from a southpaw position. He switches stance. He's got great timing with his high kicks. And like I said, he keeps his balance and he mixes it up very well. But more than anything, David Tamer is very, very patient. He doesn't force anything, and he's always ready to counter-strike or move forward for the perfect balanced punches and kicks.
The Prep Point is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. So Tamer, Joe, technical Muay Thai striker here. Going to be interesting to see how he tries to handle the pressure game of Lando Vanata.
It's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting what approach Lando Vanata takes. I mean, Lando Vanata took the stand-up approach in his previous fights with Tony Ferguson, and he looked fantastic against John Makdessi, who's also a seasoned striker. But I think that David Tamer, as he said, is on another planet when it comes to striking. Lando Vanata, though, has a wrestling base as well. Right. It's going to be interesting to see whether or not Vanata chooses to mix it up, whether or not he threatens with the takedown in order to open up the striking, or whether or not he tries to test himself with his stand-up. His stand-up is outstanding. Yeah. It's just whether or not it's good enough to hang with Tamer.
David Tamer, plus striker all around. He has knocked down both of his UFC opponents, eventually knocked them both out in the second round. That takedown defense could be tested for him here tonight. We shall see how Vanata chooses to approach this against the former building engineer David Tamer, very cerebral fighter as well, and undeniably in front of the biggest spot of his UFC career tonight against Groovy Lando. So here is Groovy Lando Vanata, Joe, and as far as 2 UFC fights go, I mean, just 2 unforgettable performances for this guy.
Yeah, I mean, the guy steps in his UFC debut, takes on Tony Ferguson, who's one of the best in the business, stuns him, knocks him down several times, had him in real trouble. I mean, you see it here. I mean, he put Tony Ferguson on Queer Street. Tony's wobbling all over the octagon. Lando Vanata almost closed the deal. Wound up getting choked in that fight by the very durable Tony Ferguson, then lands a picture-perfect wheel kick on John Makdessi. What Lando Vanata has going for him is creativity, his ability to improvise. He's so fluid, whether it's transitioning from striking to grappling, back and forth. And he's also very, very durable. He's a tough guy. He's got great athleticism. He's got a lot of promise. So what you want to see with a guy like this is how does he handle a guy like David Tamer? A guy who's just a ruthless, vicious knockout striker with a real pedigree behind him. Yeah. These are the kind of fights you want to see when you have an up-and-coming guy like Lando, who starts out right out of the gate with the #1 contender in the division, loses a great fight, and then comes in and knocks out John Makdessi.
And he comes in here with wrestling and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu actually as his first art. You wouldn't know that when you watch his striking and how precise it is. He's only been striking for 6 years with Greg Jackson, and that is how good he looked doing it. And on top of that, he comes from a background of athleticism, as I talked to him. He said he's a 2-time national champion via BMX. So as a kid, he was wrestling, he was doing BMX, and he was doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And he said that he attributes a ton of his speed and explosiveness to those days in BMX. He said to sprint off the gate like that, he feels it when he explodes with his strikes, he told me. And that's an interesting thing to hear from somebody when they cross over from different sports. That's what's so cool about mixed martial arts is you don't just have to practice martial arts for it to help you in a fight.
Yeah, it really is interesting. BMX, it might be a first, right?
He wrestled 1 semester at the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga, before dropping out and heading to Albuquerque, New Mexico, where he has been ever since. Here now, your tail of the tape for this co-main event. Lando Vannata will be 25 in 10 days. David Tamer is 27 years old. Both men 5'9" tall. They both weighed in at 156 pounds. The Swede Tamer will have a 2-inch reach advantage. All right, now for the particulars inside the octagon to Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the co-main event of the evening. This fight is 3 rounds in the UFC lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a Muay Thai kickboxer holding a professional record. 5 wins, 1 loss. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at 156 pounds. Fighting out of Stockholm, Sweden, presenting the 4-time Swedish Muay Thai champion, David Tamer. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record. 9 wins, 1 loss. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at 156 pounds. Fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, Groovy Lando Vannata. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Herb Dean.
Herb Dean, our referee for the co-main event. There is Ariane Celeste to get us going for round 1 of a possible 3 here. Always loose, Groovy Lando Vannata.
Ready, let's do it.
Cub Swanson gave him that nickname at an IHOP in Palm Springs, California in 2015. We're underway here. David Tamer in black, Lando Vannata in white. Tamer, the southpaw.
And anytime you see Lando throw that teep kick to the front of the knee, he uses that as a rangefinder to land his spin kicks and other kicks to the opposite side. So it's an interesting technique how he uses that front kick.
Great relationship between coach and pupil with Lando Vannata and Brandon Gibson, whom he's worked with now for almost a decade.
And right away, Lando's the one who's pushing the action, pressing forward, very aggressive.
Well, we saw that with Lando versus Ferguson as well, and he kind of got tired. So let's see how he can utilize his energy this time.
We took that fight on very short notice.
True. And there was a lot of grappling in that matchup as well.
Yeah.
This is a lot different. With David Tamer, he's good at using the range and moving in the right way to stay out of harm's way. And he's got good timing when he throws those kicks.
And he's working that lead leg of Vannata inside and out pretty well here in the early going. Tamer giving Vannata a few different looks here. If you know Tamer, you know he wasn't going to be fazed by this atmosphere or getting slotted into the co-main. Vannata goes up top.
Vannata is really good at closing distance with his strikes. He's really good at his movement, and whether he attributes that to the leg strength and dexterity that he got from BMX, whatever it is, but he's just very good at closing distance. Spinning kick, spinning back fist attempt there, and he's got Tamer on the back. Tamer's constantly on his heels, moving backwards.
Well, Tamer has that style. He's a counter striker most of the time, so he moves backwards often, but he's got good balance to always be in a position to land something. And so that's to his advantage right now on his back foot as a southpaw. But with the way Lando is throwing, it's so hard to read what he's going to do that the counter's hard to find.
Oh!
Wow.
Sanchez style.
Awesome.
Oh, he tagged him. He hurt him. Tamer's in trouble.
Tamer with a
nice
couple
knees to the body by Tamer. Tamer is a guy that's been in wars.
They're both taking damage right now, Joe. Both of them.
Absolutely.
Nice read on the uppercut, but Tamer's able to land the overhand over the top.
Oh, he caught him with that left hand.
Yep.
Lando might have got hurt. He got tagged again.
Got to be encouraging for Tamer to be able to absorb those power shots from Vannata. Both guys have had a lot of seminal moments here in the early going. 2 minutes now to go round one.
Now Lando's backing off a little bit here. Oh, and that's where Tamer's going to come after him. He lost his mouthpiece. Lando might be slowing down a bit here, Dom.
Well, he comes out so hard, like you said, Joe. I mean, the movements and the dexterity and the things that he's doing uses tons of energy. These aren't simple-minded movements he's using. These are very tough, and they take tons of energy and explosiveness.
Yeah, and he's slowing down. I mean, he's there for Tamer now. Oh, and he went high with that kick. Woo, spinning back kick to the body.
And that's a lot of energy, Joe, but it's so good the way that he's throwing it, and it's keeping Tamer backwards.
Oh!
Beautiful kick by Tamer.
Beautiful way he switched that up with the right leg lead and then switched to the left. Nice kick to the body there again.
Shot there from Vannata. We thought he would certainly be the guy more likely to go for it.
Oh, he's got his back.
That was an extremely explosive shot from the outside.
And Tamer manages to get right back up to his feet. Very nicely done by Tamer.
Very nice defense by Tamer.
Two elite athletes here, total strikes. Tamer with the slightest of advantages as we come up on 30 seconds in round one.
Oh, tagged him again. I think he stunned him. Oh!
Ooh.
Oh! Tamer's all over him here.
Ooh. Vannata gave Tamer a cut over that left eye with that right hook.
Yeah, it doesn't look to be in too bad a place, but we'll keep an eye on it. Final seconds here, round one.
Boy, Tamer throws for the bleachers, doesn't he?
These guys are bringing it tonight and putting on an outstanding show.
Woo! How good was that?
High-level striking in this matchup.
Let's take a look at some of it here. There's that left hand by Tamer. And look at this. Sanchez style cartwheel kick. Really surprised Tamer with that. And here Vannata connects with the right hand as Tamer's moving back. And that's where you see Lando had a little bit of wobble to his step after that shot.
Don't let him dictate the rhythm. When you get close to him, mix it up a little bit. Fake strings, high, low, put it together.
I'm just throwing hands to the head. I'm not throwing kicks or anything.
Yeah. Put it all together. Flow, baby.
Keep flowing. He's just looking for counter greens, counter eights.
Okay.
Don't pull back in the pocket.
Seconds out.
Hi, Chrissy. Round two of a possible three. The Tamer corner, Dom, not wanting him to force things here in round two.
Time. Come here. Give me your towel.
Andreas Michael is the corner of David Tamer. He works with Alexander Gustafsson as well. All-star MMA out there in Sweden, and he's an extremely good coach. He's good at keeping his pupils very calm and collected with their balance and throwing with good technique, and so he's getting upset at Tamer because Tamer's getting pulled into a brawl right now. He doesn't want that from him.
Both guys ate some power shots from the other in round one, particularly Vannata. The chin seemed to hold up, and he recovered quickly when Tamer scored. Round two now.
Well, both guys landed in that round for sure, and that was a high-level striking round.
Vannata landed his only takedown attempt in that first round, didn't do much with it.
The threat of the takedown will be a big factor if Lando chooses to use it more often, because you know that it's not going to come from Tamer.
Right.
The fight is being fought at such a far distance that it's hard for Venata not to telegraph his shots. That's why you're not seeing a lot of them.
Looks like Venata was able to split the guard there with a right hand. Now it's Tamer advancing.
Oh,
wow.
Beautiful.
Both of those guys had great combinations in that exchange.
Man. And yet both are still standing. A lot of leather being flown here in the co-main event. And immediately following the main event, recap of all of tonight's action on the FS1 UFC 209 post-fight show. You can see it on FS1, streaming live on Fox Sports Go. For those watching in Canada, you can see it on TSN.
Oh, beautiful knee to the body, and another one. Nasty knees. And Lando just absorbs them like they're nothing.
Unreal.
He just slides away. And that's what we were talking about before about him. He's so durable. Oh, even there.
You could tell he's just a worker. Lando's the guy, he doesn't care what you do to him, he just wants to keep working. Awesome counter. I mean, that's not something you ever see, a counter from a right high kick is a spin kick. I mean, you just don't see that.
Inside leg kick for Tamer.
Yeah, and you don't see his spins coming either.
Yeah.
He's so good at hiding them. It's because that weird sort of dancing movement that he has with his style. Oh, boy, both guys landed there. I'll tell you, Lando's got a hell of a chin.
Under 2.5 minutes now to go round two. Again, Tamer able to stick and move.
Tamer with a nice right-left.
Tamer was certainly the lesser-known party coming into this one, but a nice showcase for him. His stock undeniably will go up.
Lesser known maybe, but highly touted.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's excited about this young man, and that's one of the reasons why this fight is so interesting. I think, oh, beautiful. Even Lando had to acknowledge that.
Yeah, finally a nod from Lando Venata.
Look at that.
There's the takedown.
Who saw that
Very
coming?
nice.
Crazy.
Not Joe Rogan.
And now that cut for Tamer and the blood in and around it starting to become a factor.
Tamer keeping him honest.
Tamer's he's doing a great job finding the strikes that he can and making use of them. He's moving back a lot, but he's still landing very well.
Watch his fingers. Yeah.
Beautiful right hand. It's amazing when you tell me that this guy's only been striking for 6 years. I mean, that really is incredible.
When I heard it was his second art, that surprised me. He's just very fluent. And, you know, you look at his style, you look at Lando's style, and he got his nickname from Cub Swanson. You see little touches of Cub Swanson in his style. The cartwheel kick, the way that he moves his arms, the way that he moves his hips. And so you know he cross-trains with Cub.
Keep those fingers up.
Left hand over the top for David Tamer. Yeah, Venata and Cub Swanson very close. Brandon Gibson talks a lot about the flow, though, and how you mentioned, Joe, he doesn't telegraph any of those spinning attacks, almost as effective spinning as some guys are without spinning.
Yeah, and it's because he moves so interesting. You know, you just don't know what he's going to do next. Beautiful knees to the body by Tamer. Oh, man, Tamer is an animal.
He's done that sequence exactly 2 times in a row, and that is beautiful technique. That's all those 60 to 70 K1 level fights that you're seeing with those techniques.
It's amazing how well Lando absorbs them, though.
He's a tough workaholic. You could tell by his style.
And there's that kick to the body and a right-hand counter. Look at that Superman punch. Beautiful. And Lando acknowledged it. And there's again. I mean, he's blocking it, but those still suck. And he goes high with that one. And just slides out of the way of that right hand. Boom. Again, boom. Boom up high. What a great fight. I wish this was 5 rounds.
This fight's unreal.
10-9-8.
These guys don't want 5 rounds
when you
of
throw
it.
combos. Stay crisp, stay smart.
Easy for you to say out here, isn't it, Joe?
Very easy.
Don't be stacked on the outside.
I just said it. Didn't
do
hard at all.
anything to you.
I didn't even get tired.
Well, what's all this sweat about on your head then?
I'm just bald.
Oh.
I sweat. I'm greasy too.
Oh, okay.
Bald, pretty good look for Lando Venata. Trotting it out for the first time here. 3rd UFC appearance for him. 3rd and final round here of what has been an outstanding co-main event. High expectations for this one, and these two fighters have delivered. Here we go.
Now it's a 3rd round, and you could see Lando really pick it up. He can really let everything out. You could tell he was kind of conserving a little bit in that 2nd. Now he's really going to sprint in this 3rd, I think, to try to make sure he gets this win. And Tamer's coming out hard as well.
Again, the vicious left knee to the body by Tamer. Beautiful movement by Lando. The way he slides out and comes right back.
Venata proven to be a master at controlling distance. Inside leg kick again for Tamer.
You see how Lando's able to catch that inside kick of Tamer? That really offsets the fluent combinations that come after that inside kick of Tamer. Tamer's looking to land the inside kick and follow with hands. And because Lando's catching that kick every time, it sticks Tamer and makes it hard to follow up with his hands. Very nice technique by Lando.
Beautiful kick to the body.
And he's had great kicks to the body all night. David Tamer's kicks are outstanding, and he sets him up great with his hands as well.
Again with that inside leg kick and then going up high.
Nice.
Dom, who do you have winning this fight?
Honestly, I can't tell right now. This is a hard read. Because you got Tamer backing up a little bit, but he's landing very efficiently. And you got Lando landing, but he's moving forward. And they're landing back and forth, and there's not a whole lot of takedowns. They're almost takedown for takedowns even, I believe.
Yep, both unofficially 1 for 1 on their takedowns.
This is a hard fight to score.
Look at all that damage on the thighs of Lando Venata. You see total strikes. Tamer has been the more active guy, Venata more accurate.
Yeah, again, Tamer with that inside leg kick, and he is chewing up. That's a nice low kick by Venata.
Tamer about a 3-1 underdog coming in here tonight. Fight has certainly played out closer than the odds makers forecasted.
Oh, beautiful combination.
Tamer has absolutely showed up and shown the world how good he really is. Nice takedown number 2.
Crazy.
Single, he went for a single, transitioned to a double, and then dumped it to get the takedown.
Really showing he's a mixed martial artist.
Yeah. Now you got to understand that takedown, it didn't hold down Venata, but what it does is make you think about the takedown, which changes the striking.
And it tagged him again there in the break.
Both guys still with a pop in their step too. Two supremely conditioned lightweights here, now under 2 to go.
And again with a takedown. But
there's 3 takedowns now for Tamer to the 1 takedown for Venata. And we got a close fight on the feet. Those takedowns mean a lot. Now, with the new scoring system, I don't know.
Well, they're not using it here in Vegas, though. They're not using it for this event. I hope one day they will adopt it.
Yeah. Well, and at least when it comes to the takedown, ideally you do something with it, and Venata has gotten it pretty quickly.
Tamer really scoring in this round. Look at this, he goes for it again. This is crazy.
And it's just the pressure of Venata. You stop the pressure of Venata with the takedown attempts. Even if you don't get them, you have to take a step back when somebody's shooting on you.
And those knees to the body.
Well, get to that Twitter app, folks. Vote on who you think is winning this fight. I'm glad I'm not a judge at UFC, Venata or Tamer. Let your voice be heard.
So I'm being told that the UFC, Nevada, will adopt the new mixed martial arts rules in July or August. So we have that to look forward to. I think that's particularly important when it comes to scoring.
Nice combination from Tamer.
And again, goes right to it. Crazy.
Beautiful takedowns, at least the attempts. I mean, Venata did perfect. He shut the head down and stood right back up. Because he pushed the head down, he was able to get right back up to his feet quickly.
We are coming up on 30 seconds to go in this one. Left hand there once again for David Tamer. Looks like Venata might be trying to set up a spinning attack here. We'll see.
Another beautiful kick to the body by Tamer. And another takedown. Crazy.
That wasn't quite a takedown, Joe, because Venata got his hips out. It was close. It was a good attempt. And because of the forward pressure of Venata.
What a fight.
Awesome fight.
Outstanding fight.
After that third round, I got to give it to Tamer, in my opinion.
Well, I think he clearly took that round, that's for sure.
Well, and he certainly showed you, did Tamer, without a shadow of a doubt, that he is ready for primetime in this lightweight division. Fan voting, 55% of you believe David Tamer has sprung the upset. 45% think Lando Venata has done enough to hold serve as the near 4-1 favorite tonight.
What a treat.
Yeah, great bit of matchmaking.
This is a great fight. Just really enjoyed this fight.
Well worth the co-main event.
This fight replay brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
And then what an exchange right there. Kick to the body, punch counter. There's a beautiful punch by Tamer. These vicious knees to the body that Tamer. He just kept grabbing that clinch, tying up the back of the neck, and just slamming those knees in there. There's a nice left hand by Tamer. There's a takedown by Tamer. I mean, Lando landed some good shots in this fight, and hopefully we'll see some of those in the replays. But a lot of great striking from both men.
So third UFC appearance for both guys tonight, David Tamer and Lando Venata. The official decision brought to you by Metro PCS. Get a fast nationwide 4G LTE network for only $30 period, wireless figured out. Now Bruce Buffer with that official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. All 3 judges score the contest 30-27 for the winner by unanimous decision, David Tamer.
I'm here with the winner, David Tamer. David, that was an amazing fight. That was really a treat to call and to watch. Just such high-level striking. A huge victory for you. Tell us how you're feeling now.
I feel this is like a dream coming true. You know, I can still imagine that I'm staying right here now in front of all this crowd, and the whole world is watching me now. And I hope I get some new fans from here. I love you guys.
Well, you definitely made some new fans tonight. Your striking technique tonight was outstanding. We knew that about you coming into this fight, but you also surprised with some takedowns as well.
You know, brother, I said this from the first beginning. When I come into the UFC, I will not come and just hi. I'm here for the belt.
Well, listen, you put on a show tonight. You made a huge statement. Please enjoy this victory, and I can't wait to see you perform inside the octagon again.
And please, I have 2 straight knockouts. And this time, I made a good show for the whole crowd. The performance of the night. Dana, 50 G's, baby.
David, enjoy it. Congratulations.
And I want to say one thing. I'm happy, but all glory to God, Jesus Christ. And I want to say hello to all my people in Sweden. Hej där allihopa, jag älskar er. Tack för er support, tack för er stöd. Och Loa mig där nu syr jag kule. Kom an och slå mig och alfa tovdiat du kule khu. Henne grejer khu.
Congratulations, David Tamer, ladies and gentlemen.
And he kissed Joe Rogan's microphone. Not sure I've ever seen that before. So the winning streak for David Tamer is now 6. Gotta think he has set himself up for some top 15 opposition. The stars are out tonight. The former UFC middleweight champion Luke Rockhold and one of the biggest superstars in the sport, Nate Diaz, in the building tonight in Vegas. All right, now a message from UFC lightweight contender Michael Chiesa.
Before you watch welterweight champion Tyron, the Chosen One Woodley, and #1 contender Stephen Wonderboy Thompson settle the score in the octagon in the main event tonight. Check out the sneak peek of Marvel's Iron Fist. The final defender arrives on March 17th, only on Netflix.
My name is Danny Rand. I've been training my whole life for this. I am the Iron Fist.
You ready for the fight of your life?
It's time. Sure you want to do this, honey?
Call me honey again, I dare you.
What a night it has been thus far. Now live from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. It is time for our main event for UFC 209, Woodley versus Thompson 2. The champion, Tyron Woodley, the #1 contender, Stephen Thompson. It didn't take long for the UFC to put together this rematch after what was an absolute classic in November. So how did we get here? Dateline, New York, New York.
Championship rounds for the UFC Welterweight Championship. Tyron Woodley, Stephen Thompson. Oh! Woodley hurt him! Big time right hand. Oh, he hurt him again! Woodley's got a choke. He's got a deep guillotine. Oh! Full in. He's gonna tap. This is so tight and so deep. How is Wonderboy surviving here?
I'm sitting there thinking the whole time, this guy's not gonna finish me. He's not gonna finish me. He's not gonna finish me.
Wow! His head is free. Wonderboy on top, raining down shots. Just unbelievable. What a fight!
I mean, there's no quitting me. There's no giving up. You know, I figured him out. And I felt that in the 5th round.
Beautiful left hand. Oh, tagged him with the right. Look at that spinning back kick. Boom, 1-2. Beautiful 1-2. It's all Wonderboy in this 5th and final round.
They go the distance.
I knew I won 3 of the 5 rounds. So in my head, you know, I was gonna win.
This contest has been judged a majority draw.
There was no real winner to this fight. Next time we step out there, it's gonna be a different outcome.
Wonderboy better bring some backup. The moments that I did well, I'm gonna expound upon those moments. I made him pay very badly when he threw a leg kick. If I start taking away his kicks, I start taking away his blitzes, he's not gonna have anything left. What is he gonna revert to? He can't wrestle me, he can't grapple me, he's not gonna win a boxing competition.
And I just didn't let myself go. Didn't let my hands go. You know, I work more angles, more kicks.
Oh!
I just gotta go out there and do what I do. Let's see who the better man is this time.
You know, once you knock somebody down, it's easier to knock them out. I'm gonna whip Wonderboy's butt in a way that he would never ask to fight me again by putting him away.
A 5-time world champion kickboxer. It has been a seamless transition into mixed martial arts for Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Joe Rogan, he is coming up on 5 years without a loss.
He's a spectacular kickboxer, and his lone loss inside the octagon was against Matt Brown. Matt Brown was able to take him down, wear on him, beat him down, and control him on the ground and beat him up. But the victories that he's had inside the octagon, like against Johnny Hendricks, I mean, that was just one of the best ones I've ever seen. The Jake Ellenberger wheel kick knockout. Yeah. He's a sensational striker. He moves like a snake. He bends at the waist and moves back and forth in a very unusual and hard-to-time manner. He utilizes that sideways stance, and he throws so many techniques where he hides them. He hides them off the front leg. He brings kicks around and over your shoulders, and he can do a lot of techniques with stunning accuracy that you just rarely see inside the octagon, particularly front leg attacks.
Stephen Wonderboy Thompson has arrived at the prep point, which is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you, Dom. This is an exceedingly hard fighter to simulate in training, and we've seen a steady progression from him. Physically, you see the differences he has made. This is a stronger guy. That has been a part of his focus coming in here to this rematch tonight.
Well, realistically, I mean, he might be stronger, but that wasn't, while Tyron Woodley does have power, and they weren't in a lot of situations where Tyron just overpowered him completely other than the big punches. But really, what's impressed me about Wonderboy is the way that he's adapted his wrestling, his takedown defense. I mean, he's not super offensive with his wrestling, but his defense is top-notch. After he lost to Matt Brown, he got put up against Jake Ellenberger, like Joe said, and also Hendricks, and he was able to stuff all their takedowns completely and just pick them apart for the win. He needs to utilize that exact same technique, that exact same style in order to beat Woodley.
Wonderboy has a first-round knockout in 4 of his 8 UFC wins, yet he's patient. Really, you can't recall him ever forcing any one of those finishes. Wasn't all that effective against Woodley in the striking round. Will try to be more so tonight. Out to prove that he is not just the greatest welterweight in the world at present, but that he is the greatest 170-pound fighter of all time. Here is the chosen one, Tyron Woodley, making a second defense of his UFC welterweight title tonight.
I talked to Tyron after the fight, and I asked him, I said, why didn't you take him down again? Or why didn't you even attempt to take him down again after that first round? He was so dominant the way you controlled him. And he said, I don't know. He goes, you would think that after 20 years of wrestling, I would use that wrestling inside the octagon. He goes, I don't know. I just fought on instinct. I just did what I felt to do at that moment. But considering the fact that he has so much background in wrestling, he was incredibly effective on his feet against one of the very best strikers the sport has ever seen. A man who George St. Pierre calls the best striker he's ever seen. So it just speaks volumes about what a great fighter Tyron Woodley is. That said, I don't know if he necessarily used the best options to win that fight by not using his wrestling. He's so strong, and he was so strong on top. I think that is one of the factors that led Wonderboy to put on mass, put on 8 pounds in preparing for this rematch.
Woodley was able to time the low kick of Wonderboy to get that takedown, which was an effortless takedown. He didn't get very many other opportunities for an effortless takedown. And if you really break down what Tyron Woodley does, he conserves to throw power. He conserves. And when he does unload, he unloads with vicious intent. That being said, he's conserving. If you try to push too much wrestling on a Wonderboy, and Wonderboy does defend the takedowns, especially against the fence, or get taken down and pop back up, get taken down, pop back up. Now you've got a defenseless almost Woodley on his feet because he used so much energy trying to wrestle Wonderboy, where Wonderboy uses a quarter of the defensive wrestling that Tyron Woodley's going to use to try to take him down. That means that Thompson's going to have more juice in the stand-up to be able to beat a Woodley if Woodley uses too much energy wrestling. I think he was conserving, trying not to get too tired, forcing wrestling exchanges. That way he's got defense on his feet, and I think that that's why we didn't see a lot of wrestling from Woodley. But he does have to mix it up this time. He needs more takedowns in this matchup, I believe, if he's going to have a more successful matchup against Thompson.
It's a very interesting point, Dom. Thank you.
Woodley is a fast starter, feels underappreciated coming in here tonight. He can change all of that narrative if he can be the first to finish Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, the University of Missouri grad, former Big 12 champ, 2-time All-American, over 100 collegiate wrestling wins. And at least in the first meeting, he limited Stephen Wonderboy Thompson to landing just 27% of his significant strike attempts. The welterweight championship to be rematched tonight. Here's your tale of the tape. Tyron Woodley, 34 years old, as is Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Thompson, the much taller party, not always an advantage in mixed martial arts. Woodley weighed in right on the nose, 170 pounds, 169 for Thompson, who has a 1-inch reach advantage. And now for the introductions for our main event, here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this here is the main event of the evening. Sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Chairman Anthony Marnell, Executive Director Bob Bennett, Commissioners Francisco Aguilar, Skip Avancino, Stacey Alonso, and Dr. Dan Carpenter. Our 3 judges scoring this contest at Octagon side are Derek Cleary, Saul D'Amato, and Chris Lee. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Big John McCarthy. This bout is sponsored by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Metro PCS. Get a fast nationwide 4G LTE network for only $30 period. Wireless, figure it out. And Marvel's Iron Fist. The Final Defender arrives March 17th on Netflix. And now, this is the moment UFC fans watching around the world have been waiting for. Live from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, it's time! 5 rounds for the undisputed UFC welterweight championship of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 13 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw. He stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 169 pounds. Fighting out of Simpsonville, South Carolina, presenting the #1 ranked welterweight contender in the world, the challenger, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. And now introducing the champion, fighting out of the red corner, a freestyle fighter holding a professional record, 16 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at 170 pounds. Fighting out of St. Louis, Missouri, presenting the reigning, defending, undisputed UFC welterweight champion of the world, Tyron, the chosen one, Woodley.
Gentlemen, we got over the rules in the back. I want you to protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. I want you to fight hard, but fight clean. If you want to touch gloves, touch them now. Good luck to both of you.
So just over 3 months removed from their epic encounter at Madison Square Garden, venue shift to Las Vegas's T-Mobile Arena for this welterweight championship rematch. Tyron, the chosen one, Woodley. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Thompson, the slight favorite at -135. The underdog champion Woodley at +115. Woodley is in black. The southpaw Thompson is in white.
And I wonder why he's a favorite. Do you think it's because he won the 5th and final round of their first fight?
It's a good question, man. I really don't know. I think they're just trying to draw 2-way action, but I thought maybe Woodley might have closed as the favorite, but Thompson, slight fave tonight.
It's interesting hearing what Wonderboy said, that he believes he's got Woodley figured out, and that he believed he figured him out towards the end of the fight. And Dom, you were noticing that that Wonderboy has put on some size.
Yeah, when you see them size up each other right there face to face, you see the size in Wonderboy. He's definitely put on weight. And he's tall too, so he's tall and bigger.
There's that front leg side kick by Wonderboy, and beautiful use of movement. That front leg side kick, he uses it better than anybody in MMA. And he does it effortlessly. He slides in with it and sticks you right in the stomach with it. And if you just stand there, he'll hit you with a round kick right afterwards.
Woodley not going to wow you with volume. He will with pressure and power. You can be sure Thompson will be mindful of those flurries.
It looks like Wonderboy wants to put the pressure, just follow Tyron. Feint, 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 get Tyron to explode, and then counter off the back foot while he's moving backwards. Not a lot of people can counter moving backwards. Wonderboy can. Now you got Woodley. I mean, you can't ever just throw with reckless abandonment with him because he's too darn powerful, too explosive, and too fast. You have to respect that and take your time with him and be patient, just like you see Thompson doing.
Well, Thompson is just so well schooled as a striker. He's really never reckless in his attacks, but always aggressive.
2 minutes have gone by here in round one. A little bit of a feeling out process perhaps early. But as we mentioned, Thompson very patient, doesn't force things.
Well, Tyron Woodley has been in this position before where he gets pushed back to the edge of the cage and he looks to explode. Like he's backing up and he feels the cage touching him. He looks to explode off of it. But certainly he has much more options defensively if he's not back to the cage like that.
Immediately following the main event, don't miss a recap of all of tonight's action from Vegas, the FS1 UFC 209 post-fight show. Karen Bryant, Kenny Florian, Brian Stan, and Megan O'Leary. It's on FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go for those watching in Canada, TSN.
If you think about it, Joe, it actually kind of makes sense with Woodley's style because he's so powerful. It's such a gift that he has, the power and the speed and the athleticism, really it is, that the fence actually creates a barrier so he can find his range without using any weapons, because the fence puts Wonderboy in an exact range because he can't go too far forward or too far back. The fence actually creates a zone where Woodley can time his right hand without setting it up.
Beautiful combinations by Wonderboy and beautiful movement, especially the sliding away from the blitz punches of Tyron.
Looked like perhaps Woodley was going to welcome that flurry to set up a takedown, but Thompson was in and then he was out.
Notice no low kicks in the first round from Wonderboy. I guarantee you that was something they went over after getting taken down in the first fight.
Yeah, he's gone high, and he's thrown a lot of those front leg side kicks.
Crowd getting a little bit testy here, but Woodley will want to set up counters here. Not going to try to get into a firefight and a volume contest with Wonderboy.
He's being very patient.
This matchup requires patience because of the threats that both these guys have.
Oh, beautiful leg kick counter by Woodley. A lot of power to that.
Woodley just misses to the body.
Wonderboy, hands down, such an odd style. Really point karate-based style that he's so effectively transitioned to MMA with.
So 5 minutes down, only 6 significant strikes landed combined.
Maybe, but I would say that was a clear first round for the challenger.
Yes.
Woodley backs up often, but he's pulling you into his power, so it's scary still.
Definitely scary still, but as far as who scored most and who controlled the action most, Wonderboy.
The results continue, because he's just trying to stay at the end of his reach, okay?
You can't wait on him, all right? You got to go first, all right? Let's go first and last, but you can't wait. All right? Don't think, man. You know what to do, man.
Yeah, man.
Stop thinking and get out there, man. We got your back over here, all right?
Light on your feet, baby.
Listen to what I'm saying. I am. When you throw that two, yeah, okay, when you throw the two, throw it like you mean it. You understand? You understand?
What a bond between father and son. Ray Thompson forever in the corner of his son, Stephen Thompson. Dom, any thoughts on the message from Dean Thomas, Duke Rufus, and the crew in Woodley's corner?
Well, they're just telling Woodley he's got to up his offense, and that's how he lost last time, or, well, went to a draw, is because he could have had more output and didn't. They're trying to get him to have more output so it's more decided in his end. I think it's a good read on his corner's part. But it's a different story when you're fighting Wonder Boy and he's standing in front of you in the middle of that octagon.
That wide stance, just slides right out of range. He's so far away. He's tall and he fights long.
And he fights backwards being tall.
You see the center control for Wonderboy Thompson, 85%. And Joe, perhaps to your point in round one, if you get down to that criteria of octagon control, it was certainly Thompson through the first 5 minutes.
Good body shot by Woodley, and that's a good game plan, is just start throwing to the chest of Wonderboy. Just sling it as hard as you can to his stomach and his chest, because it's hard to hit him in the head. And if you aim for Wonderboy's head, it gives him better counters for his striking. If you aim for his body, it's hard to counter body shots.
Sometimes when you get to the elite levels, this is the way the fights can play out. A lot of mutual respect for the power coming back on both sides.
Now this is what Tyron's corner didn't want, is him waiting on Wonderboy. Tyron needs to go now, move forward a little bit, get those 2 punches back so he gets the respect of Wonderboy.
Yeah, Tyron is definitely not active enough. I would like to see him use that inside low kick as well.
Just over 3 minutes here to go in round 2. This approach from Woodley doesn't necessarily dovetail with what we heard from him here during fight week. All but guaranteeing a finish.
He's essentially playing Wonderboy's game.
Let's look for a takedown too, kiddo. Takedown. Get that jab going. Stick it with it. Let's right hand takedown. Let's get on it. Inside low kick.
I mean, Wonderboy can fight like this all night. My concern would be, if I was in Woodley's corner, is that he's utilizing a lot of energy, anticipating things, waiting on things, and he may slow down.
Doesn't even look like Wonderboy's barely sweating out there.
Yeah, he's so comfortable fighting like this.
And that was a nice flurry for Tyron. I mean, he did land there. It wasn't super hard, but he did land. He needs more of that. He can do that. It's there for him.
But you might have seen Duke Rufus and Dean Thomas desperately trying to get Woodley to follow up that flurry and move forward.
Blue's got to cut to the punch.
Yeah, it's like he's waiting for things to happen for him.
Well, he already cut Wonderboy with that one right hand that landed, and that just tells you the power he has. If the more patient he is, the more power Tyron has, and the bigger it's going to land when he does land.
Showing him that kick.
Because Wonderboy's not doing a lot either, other than feints. He's not throwing a lot of weapons. I mean, he's throwing some, but not a whole lot more than Woodley.
He's looking for that counter right hook as well, Wonderboy is. There's that front leg side kick.
I think that would be a good weapon to keep using from the outside where he's at.
Look at that, he switched it up with a round kick as well. That's what I was talking about. He sneaks that front leg round kick over the front shoulder.
Looked like that might have caused a little swelling underneath that left eye of Tyron Woodley. 7-7 in terms of significant strikes landed now through 9+ minutes.
I mean, not a lot has been happening, but most of what has been happening for Wonderboy.
Well, because he's pushing forward.
Pushing
basically.
forward.
And feinting and trying to pull something out of Tyron.
Well, and for a judge, if you can't determine a winner based upon effective striking and grappling, then you go to aggression, and then lastly, octagon control.
There's that front leg side kick again. He hides it right behind the jab.
Now, if you think about the offense of Thompson's on every opponent he's ever had, you got to give credit to Woodley, because Thompson doesn't have that kind of offense on Woodley ever, the last 2 fights.
Good kick to the body by Wonderboy. There you see that one right hand that Woodley did land. You see him land that there.
Believe in your training. All right, we got 3 rounds, and you can do it, man, because I believe in you.
You're doing a great job with the 2. Keep going. Keep going. When you enter with the 2, stay, keep moving. Don't give up real estate you bought, kiddo, okay?
Yes, sir.
Tyron, you got to get busy and stay busy.
Let's get that
You
fucking takedown on
understand
him. Open wide. Okay, listen. You gotta go. I'm good. You got 2 rounds.
Let's go. Mouthpiece. Mouthpiece. Got it. Okay. Good job, coach.
So Ray Thompson feels like his son has 2 rounds in the books.
I think Woodley's corner is right. I think he does need a takedown. He needs a takedown to help this out.
He has yet to attempt one.
Get out, come on.
Through 10 minutes. 3rd round of a possible 5 here. Woodley, the champion in black. The #1 contender, Thompson, in white.
What's funny about Thompson's stance as well is he gives no double leg because he's turned sideways. So you can only shoot single legs on him. And when you shoot a single leg on him, he pushes your head down and just slides his leg right out. There's the single leg. And that's the only way he could get the double is if he pushes him to the octagon fence. You can't get a double because he's sitting sideways. So it makes it crafty and hard to take this man down.
That's
There's
a really
the double.
important point. He's got his hands clasped
Got
together.
it. Now he's got it.
Beautiful trip.
And that is a high-amplitude takedown and a useful one for Tyron Woodley here early round 3.
And it has to come from the single leg. He's only going to get takedowns from that single leg attempt, transitioning back to a double. You got to force the single, and then that'll get Thompson to turn his hips so you have to double. That's what you saw Woodley do there. Very sharp on his end to use his grappling when he did.
And he's got Wonderboy in a bad spot here.
Very bad.
Wonderboy can't really defend much against this right hand. Excuse me, left hand.
Well, he's got it trapped.
Yeah.
Woodley's got it trapped behind his back. This is a super terrible spot. And the way that Woodley's got Wonderboy's right leg trapped, Wonderboy can't go anywhere. So Woodley's left leg is trapping Wonderboy, so he can't turn to his belly. He can't get his arm back as well.
Yeah, excellent control here by Woodley. And he still has his hand trapped behind his back.
And this is pure power on Woodley's end. This is how strong he is. It's not easy to grab any man's arm and just shove it behind their back and hold him there. And Woodley's doing this the entire time right now, making it look pretty controlled right now. There's not a lot of damage being done, but neither is Wonderboy doing anything, so. But I promise you, this is not what Wonderboy wants to conserve his energy. This is tiring trying to stand up with Woodley grinding on top of him the way he is right now.
He's almost up, and he is. Nice knee to the body by the champ.
Crowd pops as Thompson gets back to his feet under 3 minutes now to go round 3.
How about Wonderboy using the fence to get up? I mean, we've seen guys all night have a hard time getting up. Wonderboy has no grappling background to begin with. He learned it as the sport started in MMA, starting with kickboxing, and he's getting up against a seasoned wrestler whenever he needs to.
So we get separation here. Big, deep breath for the champion, Tyron Woodley.
Look at Woodley killed 2.5 minutes off the clock with that takedown.
Yeah.
That's huge for that round. Now, how much energy does Woodley have to defend right now the striking of Thompson?
Yeah, that's where it gets really interesting.
That's the grappling I was explaining to you earlier. It's just tiring, and now let's see how his defense holds up.
Well, you see his stomach contracting, I should say. Woodley expended a lot of energy there offensively. Ray Thompson.
Give me a 2-3! Mix it up, Steve. Move to the right. Move to the right. You gotta go! Take it up!
He's going to the body. Now up top.
I like to see Wonderboy keep going to the body of Woodley, because if he goes to the body, then it's hard for Tyron to time a shot underneath his punches.
Fifth straight time Stephen Wonderboy Thompson has prepared for a 5-round fight. Just over a minute now to go round 3. Thompson to the body.
Again to the body. He's doing a good job with that straight left to the body, and Tyron's trying to get it back.
And if you're Wonder Boy here, less than 40 seconds to go in the round, given the takedown, gotta think some offense here would help him. In terms of the scorecards, 30 seconds to go. Right hand over the top is good for Woodley.
Big left hook by Wonder Boy.
Joe, maybe his best strike of the fight right there.
That was still a good round for Woodley, I think, though.
Absolutely, yeah.
Speaking of which, Dom, here's the takedown.
Nice single leg transition, head on the outside, and then he pushes Wonder Boy to the fence. That way he can get him to square up and get the double the way he needs to. You can't just shoot straight double legs on Wonder Boy, and those are the most effective takedowns to go for when you're striking, because you get a hold of both the legs. When you go for one leg, they slip the leg right out. So those are hard takedowns. Wonder Boy's stance makes it very difficult to shoot on him.
There was a nice left hook that landed for Wonder Boy at the end of the round.
Water. Good. Listen, you got. He's tired, son. He's tired. You hear me? Yeah. Grab his arm too. Grab his arm too. How you feeling, baby? Yeah.
So we have hit the championship rounds here. Round 9 between these two fighters, dating to November 12th when they met at UFC 205. Tyron Woodley, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson for all the welterweight marbles. Thompson again working Woodley to the outside of the octagon. Woodley again with one of his patented flurries. Wonderboy, though, still hovering around that 30% in terms of his significant strikes landed. Head strikes advantage Woodley. So, Dom, what's the mentality when a tactical fight plays out like this? You've been in a lot of 5-rounders.
Yeah, right now we're just seeing these guys try to make reads, and they don't want to overcommit, because if you overcommit, somebody's going night-night. Right. They both know that, so they got to be careful, and they're just being very focused. This is a tough fight, and they're very evenly matched.
Well, this fight playing out far more deliberately than their first encounter.
Wheel kick. Wow.
And that came out of nowhere. There was no read, there was no anything on that. So that just shows you how quick Wonderboy can be.
Woodley always does a pretty nice job of keeping that right hand high, and that partially absorbs some of the damage there.
Well, his defense is looking great if we're talking about striking, because he's not opening up a lot, but he's still not getting eaten up by Wonderboy. And Wonderboy goes out there and knocks everybody out. He's not doing that to Tyron, because Tyron's fighting smart. Threatening the takedown really slows Wonderboy down and limits his tools.
And in all fairness, Wonderboy recognizes what's on the line here, and he's being quite cautious as well.
Agreed. Both of them are very cautious. They have to be. And they know that. Just like the first fight. Looks almost identical so far.
Significant strike story. Both have landed 25. Woodley slightly more efficient, though. Woodley trying to find a window to get inside. How much do you hear that crowd, Dom?
It just depends on the big loud noises you hear, but they're not landing huge shots, so there's no haste really that it's creating here in the crowd.
Immediately following this main event, recap of all of the action is yours on the FS1 UFC 209 post-fight show with Karen Bryant, Kenny Florian, Brian Stan, and Megan O'Leary. It's on FS1, streams live on Fox Sports Go. If you're watching in Canada, TSN.
So Wonder Boy land a left hand, and you saw Woodley land a right hand. 1 for 1.
Wonder Boy's doing a good job with that. He's trying to throw that check hook. When you see his right leg forward, you see front leg kicks and occasionally a back roundhouse kick. But when he spins, it's almost always with his left leg forward.
Right now, what Wonder Boy's looking for is for Woodley to commit to an overhand right and then hit him with the counter right hook. That's exactly what you're talking about. That's what you're seeing right there, Joe. He's just trying to pull out Woodley's right hand, right hand, right hand. That's all you're seeing over and over is Wonder Boy wants his right hand to be thrown so he can counter it.
Yeah, and he wants to sneak that right hook in.
And he's throwing that left.
Oh,
nice move. Good.
Beautiful.
.30 seconds now to go in the round. Woodley with a flurry, but again, that right hand to the chest not doing much of any damage. Just 2 takedown attempts thus far for Woodley. He's secured one of them.
We might realistically be looking at a situation heading into the final round where Tyron Woodley needs to stop Wonder Boy. Here we see that high kick. That one snuck in.
Come on. It don't have to be crazy. We got to stay busy. Let's get the takedown. Let's look for the choke. Let's keep going. You cannot go backwards. That's why he's able to kick him, man. We got to finish it. All right. Tyron, we have to finish. Yes, sir. Wouldn't act like it. Yes, all right. Come on, man. Let's go.
Light him up. Yes, sir. A little water on the canvas. Good. Keep climbing. He's going to try and get you down. Yes, he is. Hands up, coach. Let's go, babe.
So, Joe, do you think we see a different approach from Woodley here? I mean, obviously you saw the imperatives from his corner. I know sometimes, though, in a fight like this, it's easier said than done to execute. You know?
Yeah, it's way easier said than done. But he's got to make something happen. He's had that one great moment when he took him down and he beat him up while he's on the ground. He needs more of that, and he may need to stop him.
Yeah, and Thompson knows that Woodley wants a takedown. You heard his corners telling him that, so that's going to limit some of Thompson's movements and his what he decides to use offensively.
Yeah,
but Woodley's coming hard like he needs to.
You see the urgency in Woodley's approach.
But this leaves more openings for Thompson.
Sure. Woodley continuing to close the distance here. You heard Duke Rufus call for takedowns, action, and no backwards motion. But again, precious seconds continue to click off the round 5 clock here.
It's just so hard to fight this style of fight with Wonder Boy. I mean, that's his style. Look, he slides back, sticks a side kick in your stomach. And this is what he made his kickboxing career off of. This kind of movement, this kind of fighting, this is what he does best. And Tyron is just, other than that one takedown, not really had a lot of opportunities to do what he does best.
Well, the more Woodley tries to come forward, the more effective the right hook of Thompson becomes. And that's what you're seeing from Woodley, why you're not seeing him just go and explode, because Thompson's doing the right thing with that counter right hook, and he's sliding to the weak side to throw it, as you see. That's why he's going to the right when he throws that right hook.
He's also always in a great position. He's sliding just out of the way of where Woodley can hit him, but inside the range of where he can hit Woodley.
And both guys coming in were hell-bent on producing a more definitive result, and at least here with 3 minutes and change to go, perhaps more questions than answers when it comes to the top of this UFC welterweight division.
Big reach by Tyron.
Yeah. Well, the numbers tell you Woodley has landed slightly more strikes. He has been the more efficient party. We shall see how the judges see this one if we don't get a finish here.
But isn't that counting the shots that he landed when he was on the ground, when he was holding him down?
Great point.
I mean, they count in that round, but I don't think it's indicative of the overall performance in the fight itself.
Yeah, very fair.
But then again, you're not seeing a tired Tyron Woodley. He's still capable of knocking Wonder Boy out or anybody out.
Agreed. He's not tired at all, Woodley. And neither is Wonder Boy. I mean, these guys have a lot in the gas tank, both of them, but they can't over-exert themselves because then they're open for counters from one another. They're both so slick and hard to time.
Well, but if you don't set yourself up to potentially get knocked out, you got to live with the scorecards.
Agreed.
Yeah, Tyron's just trying to sprint on him. Just looking for those openings to just jump towards him.
Under 2 minutes now to go.
Look how Wonder Boy keeps his right foot on the outside of Woodley's. That gives him the edge with that left hand and the left high kick.
There it is.
Right hand partially lands for Woodley, but he's one and done.
And that's another reason you're seeing Thompson in his southpaw stance so much too, is it takes him away from the right hand of Woodley.
Well, Dom, would you say at least that Woodley has answered the command of moving forward from Duke Roufus this round? Hasn't been backing up.
Definitely. He's moving forward. I mean, I think he could have done this sooner and then had scorecards more in his favor. But he's doing what his coach has said. I think he could try some more takedowns. I mean, he's only got this round left, so he might as well just let it all hang out.
Yeah, not much time. Less than a minute to go.
He's definitely not going to get tired in 1 minute. So there it is. And now you'll see him sprint, I think, because he knows he's seeing the end of the race.
He's got to be careful of those counters as he rushes in.
Knockdown for Woodley. There it is. He got another knockdown. Less than 30 seconds to go. Oh, uppercut for Woodley.
There's the sprint, and he's going after it.
Wow.
Another right hand for Tyron Woodley.
He's going to get Woodley the win right here. Exactly this. It's exactly what he needed.
Thompson continues to circle out of harm's way.
Wow.
A big fifth round or close to it for the champion, the chosen one, Tyron Woodley. Will it be enough to retain his UFC welterweight championship?
Very, very, very close to a stoppage in that fifth and final round. He had him hurt. He dropped him. Big John moved in, was taking a very close look at them. Let's take a look at that.
This fight replay, Joe, brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
This is early on. Here's that takedown. And here's a high kick that lands for Wonder Boy. There's that counter right hook. Now this is the end of the fight. Like right there. He's in big trouble here. And you see Big John taking a very close look. There's a right hand over the top and then another one. I mean, he had Wonder Boy in deep trouble, but Wonder Boy gutted it out, showed incredible heart, made it through like right there, man. That is real close to the end of the fight.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when Big John was seriously considering stopping the fight right there when he's turtled up, covering up. 1 or 2 placed punches could have ended it there.
But that's good on John, too, and not stopping it. That way it can get a real read, and nobody's angry about it.
So Woodley and Thompson have fought 10 rounds, 50 minutes. A finish does not materialize for either party. Probably not a 10-8 dom in round 5 for Tyron Woodley, but based upon how close some of the other rounds were,
yeah,
hard
could
fight to
be.
score.
I mean, that's up to the judges. They could do that. They could make it 10-8.
It wasn't dominant enough, I don't think, to warrant a 10-8.
I agree with you.
Again, a lot of close rounds in that fight.
Without a lot of big shots landed, they could just score it that way. I think that Woodley did enough right there towards the end, and with the takedowns to edge out a decision.
And again, he held Stephen Wonderboy Thompson to 30% on his significant strikes, 35 out of 115. And for Woodley, 53 out of 118. Overall total strikes, 66 to 42 for Woodley, if you care about those numbers. So Tyron Woodley looking to leave here and still as the undisputed UFC welterweight champion. Stephen Thompson trying to become the 10th undisputed welterweight champion in UFC history. They are tabulating the scores as we await this official result. Toronto Blue Jays third baseman Josh Donaldson is in the octagon in the event that Stephen Thompson wins it. Donaldson will belt his dear friend Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. The official decision is brought to you by Metro PCS. Get a fast nationwide 4G LTE network for only $30 period. Wireless figured out. Now with that official decision, here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. Derek Cleary scores the contest, 48-47, Woodley. Saul D'Amato scores it, 47-47. And Chris Lee scores the contest, 48-47 for the winner by majority decision. And still, the undisputed UFC welterweight champion of the world, Tyron, the chosen one, Woodley.
I'm here with the winner and still champion, Tyron Woodley. Tyron, another very, very close fight. How nervous were you when they were reading the decision?
I was extremely nervous. Stephen did a way better job of gauging his face. He made it very hard for me to come in close. In the last round, we all know I went out there for the kill. I wish I would have did that a few other rounds, but it was a good fight. I knew it was close, so I was just praying and making sure, the belt stayed home.
Let's take a look at that final flurry. It was about as close as a fight can get to being stopped. Without being stopped, you knew that you were in a very close fight. You charged at him, you tagged him, and you had him in deep trouble here.
Yeah, I knew I had won the round when I got the takedown. First round, I felt he won. The round, I think it was the second round, was a close round. That round, I knew I had to get done. I thought I was going to finish him, but, at the end of the day, I got the victory.
This was a very tactical fight. What was surprising for you about this fight?
Nothing was surprising. I knew when he was talking about putting on the weight, he was going to stay on the outside. It's smart for him to do it. Let me get close and punch like I did in the end of the 5th round wouldn't have been smart. It was a very close fight, and it's a chess match, man. It's the top 2 guys in the world. It's hard for me to just storm forward. I ate a couple shots trying to get in close, and they just kept me a little cautious.
Well, congratulations, sir. It was an excellent fight. I loved it. So thank you very much. Tyron Woodley, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I'm here with Wonderboy, Stephen Thompson. First of all, a lot of people are booing. I loved the fight. I loved how tactical it was. This was the style of fight that you had to fight with a dangerous guy like Tyron Woodley.
Exactly. That's why I'm doing this, to fight the best. Tyron is, he's the champion for a reason. But you know what? I had to go out here. I knew he was looking for the takedown. I had to play it smart. I thought I had it, but you know what? You live to fight another day, and I just want to thank everybody, all the fans out here, the support. All you guys are awesome. my Lord and Savior, my family back home. This is why I love to do. This is why I do what I do. To fight the best.
Sorry, in the 5th and final round, he had you hurt. How hurt were you?
You know, he hit me, knocked me down. It was like a flash knockdown. I, got back up and thought I finished the round on top, but it is what it is.
So you felt at the end, when the judges were reading the decision, you felt confident that you had it?
Yeah, I thought I had it. I thought I threw the better strikes, landed more of the strikes, but you can't leave it in the judges' hands.
Well, it's another extremely close fight with the best in the world. Congratulations, sir. I enjoyed it. Thank you very much. Stephen Thompson, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, that fight was a tactical battle just like the first one. You could try to boo, but if you know how good these gentlemen are, you don't. And if you try to fight them, you'd understand why these guys were taking their time, because they're savages. Both these guys can knock out anybody in the world, and they're both extremely good.
So Tyron Woodley heads back to the Show Me State with the belt he came with, the undisputed UFC welterweight championship of the world. And that, in all likelihood, closes out his series with Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Great night of fights it has been here in Las Vegas, Nevada. UFC 209 Woodley versus Thompson 2 has been brought to you by Harley Davidson. See your dealer today and learn to ride like some of your favorite UFC fighters with Harley Davidson Riding Academy. Live your legend. And by 7-Eleven. Text KO to 711-711 for a coupon to get a free Big Gulp or Slurp.
UFC Fight Night on FS1. The Phenom lightning fast Vitor Belfort returns home.
So this is a war now!
To take on rising star Kelvin Gastelum.
Another big takedown!
It's a brutal mix of speed and precision. Plus, John Vellante faces the biggest fight of his career against the legendary Shogun Rua.
Good combinations.
UFC Fight Night, March 11th on FS1.